unlimited plan, they probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for all.
Here we go.
See site for additional facts.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese on the Radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're almost there. I can't wait as the days count on and on and on. I'm nowhere near ready, folks. But it's on and popping. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. What's going on, Wendy, in the chat room and everybody else checking out the show? I've actually had to let a lot of people go. And it's coming to that point where I'm going to have to do like NBC did yesterday. God bless the folks over at NBC. Can we get that applause going? There you go. All right. NBC. Got to applaud the people over at NBC, but I think I'm going to follow suit with those folks. I'm just going to start letting people go. There's a report today that says that NBC has decided to get rid of 7% of its news department. 7% of it. But hold on. It gets better. It gets better. Not only did they drop 7% of its news department, it's who they let go. Which departments they let go. And hold on. I want everybody to sit down for this one because you're going to ask yourself, why would they do this? I don't know. But no one's happier than me. It couldn't have happened on a better day. It's Negro Nonsense Day on Reese on the Radio. NBC has announced that it began implementing layoffs affecting approximately 150 employees. As I said, representing 7% of its newsroom. What is leaving NBC? What did they decide to depart with? Let's start with the small stuff. NBC is finally getting rid of NBC Out, which is their LGBTQ division. They are also getting rid of NBC Asian American. That's right, they're Asian American and Pacific Islander division at NBC. They are also getting rid of NBC Latino. That's right, for the Latino communities. And last but not least, in true Negro nonsense fashion, NBC Black is out of here too. Which, by the way, every other organization, NBC Out was LGBTQ, NBC Asian American spelled out, NBC Latino spelled out. But what was NBC Black? It was NBC BLK. Actually used BLK. They just used the letters. It wasn't even black. It was BLK. I guess, what would you say, Roseanne's like for BLM? Too many letters. Asian American wasn't too many letters. They couldn't even spend the money on the entire word. Asian, that's mess. I'm not repeating that. Get out of here, woman. Anyway, yeah, they're going to be doing that. So I thought that was interesting. But when I say I got to start letting some people go, some people are just rude. They're just rude. And for no reason to be rude. No, not you. Get out of here. No reason at all. Just rude. And so I'm just, I'm not going to indulge them. I'm done with being incredibly nice to people who are just not nice people. And I get it. I'll pray for them. Hey, carry on, have a good day. But I'm just not doing that nonsense anymore. That's just a wrap. Now, let's get to the important stuff. I need someone to help me find someone. And I don't know why no one has gone out to find this individual. His name, if you know him, please let him know I'm looking for him, is Victor Perez Velasquez. Is it Velasquez? Yeah, Velasquez. I want to make sure I get his name right. Do you know Mr. Victor H. Perez Velasquez? Are you familiar with him? Have you ever heard of him? Is he familiar to you at all? He is the owner of the establishment known as Optimo Car Wash. I don't know if he is an owner-operator, but I do know that he is the owner of the Optimo Car Wash. Now, I was under the impression that Victor was a small business owner with probably a car wash here or there. It turns out that in Connecticut, he owns the Optimo Car Wash in Newington, Connecticut. And as we learned yesterday, also owns the Optimo Car Wash in Hamden, Connecticut. And after doing a little bit of research, again, like I said, wasn't even on my radar, it turns out, according to reports, that Mr. Velasquez owns, count them, 14 Optimo Car Washes in Connecticut. It appears that there is another location in Wallingford, in Meriden. There are 2 in Newington, 2 in Southington, 2 in Ansonia, Cromwell, the one I've aforementioned on Dixwell Avenue in Hamden, 1 in New Haven, East Windsor, Bristol, New Britain. Yes, he owns them all, according to reports. I called a Victor by accident today. I received his phone number, got on the phone with him, and it turns out that Victor is the general manager. Now, the only reason why I looked this up, because I want to say this is how it happened. I recorded our conversation, which I did not get permission to play on the air, so I am not going to play it, but I can tell you what was said. And if anyone will ever ask, I have verifiable proof that I asked it and it was answered. I simply said, "Hello, is this Victor?" And he said, "Yes, this Victor." "Oh, are you the owner of Optimo Car Wash?" No, not the owner." "Oh, can I speak to Victor?" "He no here." "Okay. Do you know when he's coming back?" No, I don't know. Who this?" "Well, this is Reese from WTIC." "Okay. Well, I would like to know some information about the ICE arrest at the Hamden location." "Oh, no, I don't know nothing." "Well, no, I don't want to know anything. I just want to know if you have a statement about the arrest." No. I'll give Victor your info." And he hung up the phone. To which I called back. And I said, "Victor, what is your capacity at the Optimo Car Wash?" And he goes, I'm the, and he couldn't find the words. And he says, "I'm the manager." I said, "Oh, you the manager at that location?" Because I thought I was calling Newington. He goes, "No, I'm the manager at all the locations." I went, "Ooh, all?" He didn't say both. He said all, and I pay attention to that. "All the locations?" "All the locations," he responded. And so I looked it up, and there we have it. 14 locations. And the general manager barely speaks English. maybe first-generation immigrant. I'm not suggesting that because he doesn't speak English well that he is an illegal. I am not suggesting that. But it's worth looking into. Just saying. Just saying. And then it dawned on me. We have the Newington location where they grab 7. We have the Hamden location where they grab 8. Is ICE going to be going to all the locations? It seems like it. It appears that there is a pattern. But the pattern should be about Victor Velasquez, not ICE. I mean, if you really think about it, shouldn't we be investigating as a state who Victor Velasquez is hiring at the Optimo car washes, 14 locations near you? Shouldn't we be? That's what I would do. I'm saying that as the news media, I'm talking about gumshoe journalists. I would say, hey, that's interesting. We got 2 Optimo locations in different areas, and we ended up picking 7 from one and 8 at another, and no one is saying, hey, there's a pattern going on. No. Can I share with you what is going on? Let's take a trip over to WFSB and listen closely to the angle they spin on this story.
Yeah, people in Hamden demanding action this morning after ICE agents raided a local car wash and took 8 people into custody.
Your reporter, Roger Susanin, has been on top of this. He's on Dixwell Avenue with some of the information you need to know.
That's right, and that is one of the things that eyewitnesses tell us is so heartbreaking about this situation. And, you know, Hamden's mayor tells us that a married couple, a husband and wife who are also parents, were among the 8 people who were detained. Now, yesterday, ICE agents apparently walked right through this door in a raid that was all caught on camera here at Optimo Car Wash. And take a look at your screen. You can see in this footage agents sweeping into the business and eventually leading people out in handcuffs. Now, eyewitnesses tell us that a team of at least 10 ICE officers worked together to remove 8 people from the car wash, 7 employees and 1 customer. Hamden's mayor says some of the people who were detained have school-aged children, but town leaders say they don't know the identities of all of the people who were taken and that ICE did not give them a heads up in advance. One eyewitness tells us she'll never forget the sights and the sounds and the sheer terror.
The sights, the sounds, and the sheer terror. The terror of what? Of finding out that you have lawbreakers in and around your city? The fact that you have people who you don't know where they came from? Is that the sheer terror? No, of course not.
I heard the tires screeching to a halt, and I ran to the window, and that's when I saw the masked men, and then I heard a scream.
Town leaders here in Hamden are still trying to figure out why this business, Optimo Car Wash, was targeted yesterday, but we...
Leaders are trying to figure out why the Optimo Car Wash here was targeted. Really? That was what... Really? No, they're not. They know why it was targeted. But never one question. Never one question. Like, it isn't even on the minds of anyone, at least that I can see on social media, outside of, Mark in West Hartford, who's been on this story since the get-go, that are asking the question, wait a minute, another Optimo car wash was raided by ICE? John Larson openly said that he met with the owner, Victor Velasquez. He didn't ask, hey, Vic, you hiring illegals here? What's the deal? You know that isn't right. You know there are some crimes being committed by you. Or did John Larson show up and shake the man's hand and say, hey, man, good looking out on getting illegals work and evading taxes? so we could maybe hike them up on the rich folks. Is that what John Larson did? Bragging about meeting with the owner? The spin on this WFSB story is hilarious. To show that, look at all of the people who were terrorized because ICE came into town. Look how scared they was when the cars screeched. Arr! I was horrified. Another woman was in the report, in the beginning of the report. It was too low to play. She was like, that's what I was saying. I couldn't believe it. ICE is among us? I started laughing. I was like, wait a minute, woman. Let's get this right. You were stunned? You couldn't believe that ICE was among you? Well, guess what else you didn't know? Cartel members, sex traffickers, and drug traffickers were amongst you too. But you were probably okay with that. Perhaps the fact that anyone would be putting attention on ICE and not on the fact that there is a business owner. And from what we see here, a prominent business owner with 14 locations near you, hiring illegals from God knows where. And hold on, folks, let's go one step further. They have access to your vehicle. You are going into those car washes with your personal affairs in them. You figure, I'm just going to go get the car wash. And you get out the car and you hand over your keys or your fob. And you stand there and you look on the aisle. Maybe I'll get a passion fruit air freshener for the vehicle today. It's a little gift for myself. Oh, you know what? I need this. Oh, look at this. This is a little phone holder. This is a cute one. We should get this one, honey. And while that's going on, a bunch of illegals are going through your personal effects at 14 locations, one near you. And you think the person you should be worried about is the person who's removing that element from your neighborhoods. That FSB actually logged this story to talk about the people who were shocked and horrified. And yet no one has even thought to speak to Victor. So I ask, Victor, where are you? Why are you in hiding? Are you illegal too? Because I think you owe all of us answers. You run a business. You service the community, don't you? And you're servicing them with illegals. You're harboring them.
That man, Carmen Sandiego.
That's what Roland said. That man's Carmen Sandiego. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what are you doing to ensure the safety of the community you serve? Are you paying your fair share in taxes? Sir, you're a local business owner. How much money are you shaking? I mean, literally, are you keeping from the people of Connecticut? I mean, technically, you got to be one of the wealthiest guys around. You're skimming. You're paying a bunch of illegals off the books. Clearly, you're probably paying them bottom dollar. No taxes, no unemployment taxes, no Medicaid, no Social Security, no nothing. How much you paying them? $4-5 an hour? How much money is in your wallet? Everyone is busy talking about ICE, and we're talking about a local business owner with 14 locations, one near you, I'm sure. And not one person is running to find out who that guy is hunting him down to get answers. Hey, Victor, we'll got some splaining to do. Get on it, folks. Get on it. It should not be left to me. It shouldn't. Can I make this worse? Can I make this worse than what it already is for Victor Velasquez? Let me make it worse. Ladies and gentlemen, there is also a location on 598 Memorial Parkway in New Jersey. There's also a location in 27 Southwick Road in Westfield, Massachusetts. There's also a location on 2000 Murphy Drive in Bedford, Texas. And last but not least, at 8405 North Stemmons Freeway in Dallas. Yes, that's right. He doesn't just own 14 locations, one near you. He owns 18 across the country. No one thought to ask this guy a question? I mean, right now, we're just counting 15 illegals taken from 2 of his locations. How many do you think are at all 18? If anybody was an inquiring mind, they'd want to know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe. When we come back, I've got some very, very troubling details to share with you that may cause this, the rabbit hole may go really, really deep on the Mimi Torres story. We're trying to get in touch with the person who did this reporting and the information they have. There were some questions that I asked yesterday. I'm going to break down exactly why those questions were not only valid, but from what we know now in this reporting, that every reasonable answer to those questions may come to light. And there's a little bit of chicanery that happened in the courtroom in all of this, and we'll play you some audio from that as well. All right, stand by for that. By the way, if you know Victor Velasquez, just tell him, hey, we're looking for him, okay? Maybe you can answer a couple of questions, at least to us, because the regular news media has no interest. Okay, 14 locations, 15 people arrested by ICE. I say there's more. I think we need to go to all these locations. All right, we'll be back. I'll holla. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is an important public service announcement for our listeners. Reese on the Radio is also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Reese on the Radio, and hit the follow button so you can get every minute of the show your way and on your time.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month and ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 2:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The investigation continues into a crash this morning that left 2 people dead in Prospect. 3-vehicle crash occurred on Route 69 and Talmadge Hill Road near the Bethany town line. Names of the victims and other information have not yet been released. In East Hartford, police there say a woman was struck and killed by a vehicle this morning. Crash occurred at the Silver Lane Forbes Street intersection just after 5. Police say the driver did stay at the scene and is cooperating with that investigation. Bridgeport police have arrested a 28-year-old man and charged him with the sexual assault of a teenage girl walking to school on Tuesday. Cordero Javier Grebes faces a host of charges in connection with the Tuesday attack. In Shelton, police have charged a 17-year-old in a street takeover that left another teen with injuries. Jason Barrios of Norwalk is charged. He faces reckless driving and other offenses in that September 14th incident. President Trump says he's speaking with his Russia counterpart as he considers Ukraine's push for long-range missiles. The president said this morning he would give an update on what they talked about after the call was over. And Senate Democrats are rejecting for a 10th time a stopgap spending bill that would reopen the government. They're insisting they won't back away from demands that Congress take up health care benefits. WTIC News Time is 2:31. Bob Cox has the forecast.
An area of high pressure slowly building in from the Great Lakes is going to keep our weather dry over the next few days. The pressure difference, though, between that high and a storm out over the ocean is going to keep things breezy this afternoon with some wind gusts up around 30 miles an hour at times from the north to northwest. It remains sunny, at least until 6:07 when the sun sets this evening, and temperatures don't get out of the 50s today. Mainly clear tonight, lows 32 to 40. Some areas could see a bit of frost toward dawn. Friday's mostly sunny with a high near 60 degrees. Going to be clear to partly cloudy tomorrow night, lows between 32 and 40. Temperatures will start to turn a bit milder over the weekend. Saturday, we get into the low to mid 60s with a mostly sunny sky, and the wind will be light. A southerly breeze will pick up a little bit during Sunday, but that's going to push highs well into the 60s to about 70 under a partly to mostly sunny sky. And there'll be some showers around at times later Sunday night into part of Monday. Monday's highs in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, currently we have 55 degrees in Hartford on Wall Street. Dow's down over 400 points. NASDAQ's down to 52, and the S&P is down 72. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail, and losing weight. That's Awaken 180, a program that fits into your lifestyle with coaches who support you every step of the way. Visit awaken180weightloss.com to kickstart your transformation.
I'm retired, newly retired, so this was my first summer not working again. But I had problems with my shoulder. I mean, it was just like 1,000 needles going into my shoulder.
Mike didn't want surgery. 6 months in a sling was not how he planned to spend retirement. That's when he heard about QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
It's a free appointment. And after the first treatment, the next day, I went out and played golf. The pain just wasn't there.
No drugs, no surgery. Just your body's own natural healing power. Orthobiologic concentrated and placed exactly where you need them to go to work.
I couldn't have asked for a better experience. I don't want to take on Mike Tyson, but he'd know I was there.
Now Mike's heading back to QC Kinetics to get his knees treated.
It changed my first summer being retired. It's one I can remember instead of regret.
Get back to doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today to schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your traffic. So get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Save 77% on NordVPN and get 3 extra months.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
If you're in business, likely
Yes,
heard
sir.
the phrase customer retention. Providing superior service to retain great customers like DTEC Service in Cromwell is a priority at Tab Computer Systems.
Years ago, we were using another managed service provider for our IT support, and we weren't happy with their performance.
That's DTEC's Todd Vigorito. He explains how he became a Tab customer.
I was familiar with Eric from his radio show, Computer Talk with Tab, and decided to give him a call and see what they could offer us. We've been together ever since then.
What does Tab offer that keeps Todd and DTEC a satisfied customer?
Tab offers everything that we need and always comes through, whether it's new hardware or updates to software. They're always there to take care of it.
Dedication to customer service. Just another reason to call Tab Computer Systems today. 888-TAB-4-HELP. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. Or visit tabinc.com. Technology's advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Hey, we're back. Reese on the radio, WTIC, News Talk 1080. Rollo's in the chat room. And I get the accusation that I am arrogant from my detractors. And, okay. If I'm arrogant, it's for good reason in your view. And let me explain to you why you think I'm arrogant. Yeah, no, I'm going to say it, but it doesn't matter. Okay. I said this a long time ago. A friend of mine would do this to me all the time. And he would go, "Yo, Reese, did you hear about such and such and such?" And then I would calmly respond to him, "Yes, you know I heard about it." and he would go, "Why you always know everything?" And I'm like, it's my job to know this. So instead of going out to find news to find out if I know about it, just come to me. I am your news source. Self-appointed, I might add, but I am. People call here all the time, and you get it. Some people, they laugh about it. They go, "Hey, Reese, did you hear about blah, blah?" I was like, "Yes." And then I'll give them details on the story. They're like, "Dude, it never fails. When I think you don't know about a story, you do." It's nothing to do with that. I breathe. It's my oxygen, okay? With all due respect, it's my oxygen. It's why I'm on this planet right now. with the exception of taking care of my wife and buying her every little frivolous, ridiculous thing that she wants. But it's my job to know these stories and to be abreast of them. Because I don't bring them up on the show, it's usually because it's not the news that people make it out to be. With all due respect, I get why newsrooms do the stories that they do. I've worked with these producers. I know why the stories are out there. Okay? It is narrative building. It's not about importance. So when somebody comes to me and says, hey, Reese, did you hear about the young Republicans and their secret, conversations on Telegram? I'm like, yeah, of course I know about it. Of course I did. I did it yesterday. It was part of the headlines. So for those of you who missed it, let me read it back to you. Leaders of the Young Republicans group throughout the country worried that what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked. But they kept on typing anyway, according to Politico. They referred to black people as monkeys or the watermelon people in jokes that they were making online. These are the things that they said. These were staffers, people who are not in political power, who were making these statements. In fact, Politico admits there were 28,000 comments inside these private chats. Of all 28,000 of them, they found the gay slur for homosexuals, the F word, the word retarded, and the rap version use of the N word, a combined 251 times out of 28,000 text messages. 3 words combined 251 out of 28,000. Now, let's put this story to bed, and I'm going to use former Congressman Peter Mayer because he's saying the same thing that I said yesterday.
It should all be condemned as horrific, but J.D. Vance is making a great point that one or a bunch of random folks, yes, there were some state legislators in the chat. The worst things were coming from, staffers, and not a single person in this group had I heard of, but most of those folks have already either been fired or resigned, versus Jay Jones is sitting there running for office, and not a single person has pulled their endorsement or support for him.
Okay? Staffers, nobody's been fired or resigned. They're out of their job. Jay Jones would like to murder his political opponents and kill their kids. Still in the race, and Democrats won't condemn him. Okay? Rollo, we up to speed now? Okay? And screaming and hollering and saying, see, there's racism. You're arguing, it's a circular argument. Nobody said there wasn't racism, but we addressed it. You're late. What you should do is stop waiting for your news to be delivered to you by wherever it is you go, Black Twitter, and just come here. Okay? Come here first. The news that I did yesterday is now your headline today. That's right. Because I'm trying to be ahead of the curve. I'm trying to earn my paycheck. Okay? I'm the wide receiver getting $10 million a year who always scores a touchdown in every game. I've got to justify my paycheck. Do we understand each other now? Good. I'm glad. I'm hoping that we can move on. Let's move on to the story as it relates to Mimi Torres. So there is a guy who is posting information, and he is doing extensive work on it, but I'm not giving his name or his information, or he'll be flooded. We're going to work on seeing if we can get him on the show to find out, one, where he got his information from, and he is doing the legwork. He's on the ground. He's an independent reporter, and he did a lot of this work. So I will give him props for it, but I want to talk about what he found. And according to this story, there's some incidentals here that aren't corroborated or confirmed. So I want to make it clear that when I express this, this is based upon reports from individuals who know. Confirmed or not, we're not certain. But there is one thing that we are finding out that we were not told in the beginning. The police did not learn of this until individuals alerted them. But there was something that was going on that just didn't make sense to me. And it had to do with the young man and the boyfriend, I should say, whose name is Jonathan. And Jonathan appeared in court yesterday with a lot of bruises on his face. And when I looked at those, I went, okay, was somebody a little heavy-handed with him to get a confession at the police department? I'm sorry, that was I'm just going there. I watched a lot of NYPD Blue back in the day. Sipowicz was quite handy with a phone book. But I'm saying to myself, look, considering the severity of this, maybe somebody, roughed them up a bit to find Mimi's body. It's only partially true. It turns out that individuals who know the family were the ones, according to this report, who roughed him up. But there's something fishy about that. Let me play you this from Fox 61 yesterday. This is a woman who calls herself Love. And I want you to listen to this report and how she describes how Jonathan told them about the body, because something stuck out here that didn't make sense.
Since her memorial was created, dozens of people have come to pay their respects to Mimi. One of them was Love, who says she was the anonymous tipster who helped New Britain police find the 11-year-old's body.
Now, why? She was the anonymous tipster who helped the police find her body. That's the way it's described in Fox 61. That's not true. She didn't help police find the body. She found the body, as she told them in Fox 61. So again, listen to how it's described. Maybe this is laziness on Fox 61's reporter, but listen to what he says.
Since her memorial was created, dozens of people have come to pay their respects to Mimi. One of them was Love, who says she was the anonymous tipster who helped New Britain police find the 11-year-old's body.
That's not what happened.
I wanted to believe it was a clothes bin of clothes. I really didn't want to believe it was a body. Your heart races. Your heart races.
Love says her friend knew the 11-year-old's mother's boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita. She says he started to leave breadcrumbs in their conversations about killing someone and where the body was.
He kind of just told the wrong person where she was, and we came and investigated it, and it was a body. Jonathan kind of told on himself, really.
Love says Nanita told her friend the person who was killed was a, quote, bad man, and that they, quote, deserved it. She says they launched a self-investigation to find the body, but...
Why? Why? They launched a self-investigation to find the body. Why? Jonathan just said he killed somebody and it was a bad man. He revealed where it was. Why did they go search? They didn't call police until after they went to go see the body themselves. I'm still asking myself, why?
We're shocked when it turned out to be Mimi's.
I was disgusted, but I had a feeling anyways it was a human, because she did tell me that he said it was a bad man. So I was disgusted. I was devastated when I found out it was a little girl.
She says their discovery led New Britain police to this house on Clark Street, where they recovered the storage bin, and the autopsy confirmed the body's identity to belong to Mimi. Since the discovery, police have arrested Anita, the girl's mother Carla Garcia, and her aunt Jacqueline Garcia. After learning about the prolonged abuse police say Mimi endured, Love wishes someone could have saved her, but says she's glad they found her when they did.
She deserves her peace. And I'm happy I could do that for her family.
But according to this report, something is really, really ugly. I just got word from the Connecticut Sentinel. They just did an article, and I'm glad they just told me about it. Where is it? Here it is. According to their reporting, that young Mimi was dead before the start of school. And that what her mother did was, after her death, was go to the school and have her removed. She never had one day at school, as they were reporting earlier, because she was dead before the beginning of school. And in order to cover her tracks, and so that no child would be, no person in the school system would be looking for her, she removed her from the school, telling them that she was going to homeschool the child. That's how the homeschooling gets into all of this. So, for anybody who is saying, "Oh, she was homeschooled," all right, that's out of this. Let's end that. Ever since the story broke about the poor, unfortunate New Britain, a 12-year-old girl whose mother, aunt, and another are accused of murdering her, rumors began to fly that the girl was homeschooled and was killed after signing a withdrawal from the August 26, 2024 starting date that the family was moving to Farmington at that time, and that was the reason why the child was being removed from the school. Signing another form that same day indicating the mother's intent to school her at home. The National Home Education Legal Defense has refrained from commenting on that because the focus that she purportedly signed have not yet been released, and such a claim remains simple hearsay. We are commenting now, however, because we do have evidence that the date that the murder occurred, June 21st, 2024. How do we know that, and what's the evidence? We know because we have read the publicity everywhere. We have read the publicly available cease detail appeared on the state's judicial website where the mother, Carla Garcia, is being charged. On that site, we see that Carla has been charged, among other things, with murder. Adjacent to the charge that we see a column stating date of offense. Under that column, it's clearly listed that the date is June 21st of 2024. Assuming that to be the case, then all the rumors and statements and arguments have been swirling around the media until now, clamoring the need to regulate homeschooling because of this tragic murder was caused because the girl was homeschooled is absolutely false. Those who are responsible for spreading those rumors now owe homeschooling communities a very large and genuine apology. So the charging date is June 21st. She goes to the school, removes her from there. Homeschooling played no role. Homeschooling was used as a ruse. So that's over. But now, let's get to the meat of this. Oh, darn it, we got to go to a break, don't we? Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back. I'll read this statement in this breakdown of the case because it turns out it is not the aunt, it is not the mother, and it is not Jonathan, the boyfriend, who are the only people who knew about Mimi's death. And we'll tell you that when we get on the other side of it. Stand by. It's Reese on the Radio.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. So when you've spent too much on a night out, get deals on the after party. When you've got date night, get deals on favorites that'll make you their favorite. And when you've got family for the weekend, we've got breakfast.
It only takes $5 to fire up the flavor with the hot and spicy McChicken in the $5 meal deal. Or $6 to savor a McDouble in the $6 meal deal. Price and participation may vary. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Connect with employers who are ready to hire talent like yours during Goodwin University's Business and Manufacturing Career Fair. Join us at 3 Pent Road in East Hartford on Thursday, November 6th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. Register today at goodwin.edu/career services. Walk-ins welcome. We'll see you there.
Hi, I'm Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner from Money Wisdom. You only retire once, and it's important to do it right. Tune in every week as we discuss ways you can manage your money wisely. Don't miss Money Wisdom Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Another summer over, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower. Your workouts aren't as productive. Perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time. Maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Northeast Men's Health and get treated for your low T, because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-tests and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200.
He sure does, Craig.
You may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
We all hear the radio ads. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, finishing up with this story about, what's her name? Mimi Torres, the 12-year-old, or 11. Well, she had just turned 12. So she was actually dead before her 12th birthday, according to all reports. So yesterday, WFSB got a hold of the aunt of the mother of Mimi. Okay? She is the aunt of the mother and sister who are now alleged to have killed Mimi. And in that report, I think it was around 6:30, it aired yesterday. I watched that, and I'm listening to the aunt tell this story about how they didn't know, nobody had seen Mimi, had any contact with her. And I knew that there was just something off about all of this. And in the report, you could go watch it yourself on WFSB. This aunt says that she's the one heard making an outburst in the courtroom, screaming at Jonathan, "You're a baby killer, you're a baby killer." Well, after further investigation into that, I kept saying in my head, what, according to everything that we know, Jonathan is literally just a patsy here. He's the one who discarded the body. No one has ever alleged that he killed Mimi, ever, until the courtroom. And then I get this report, which says that there were several individuals who showed up at the scene where the body was found, and one in particular person, I'm not going to put them on blast until we get to the bottom of this, until I interview this guy. But there was one family member that showed up on the scene and said, allegedly, screaming, "You guys have been traveling with that body for a week in the car." Which, if that report is true, and they heard it, that means that there were several others who knew about this. In fact, they are also suggesting that in the courtroom, it was a planned idea to focus all the attention on Jonathan, to give the impression that families were blaming him. That's what the report says. That is all alleged, and we're going to get to the bottom of that soon. And I promise you we're going to get to the bottom of that. There's so much other stuff that goes on here, because we were asking the question yesterday, how did her father, Victor, not get custody? We found out that apparently at birth, the reason why the grandparents, Victor's parents, got custody was because both parents were incarcerated at the time. And there was only one person, well, I guess one family that could take care of them. Naturally, the paternal grandparents, because I don't think that there were any maternal ones that could. But still doesn't, it raises alarms as how the hell do we get to the point where DCF gets involved and takes that child away, knowing there's a criminal record related to the parent? It's insane. We got to get to the newsroom. John Silva is in the WTIC News Center, and we'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
3 o'clock, Hartford temperature 57 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Bridgeport police are charging a man they say sexually assaulted a teenage girl who was walking to school on Tuesday. Didn't take long for them to arrest 28-year-old Cordero Javier Greaves on sexual assault and other charges, arresting him just hours later at his residence. Bridgeport Police Detective Jeffrey Holtz with this suggestion for those students who walk to school.
We recommend and we highly urge the students to walk in groups, to walk on main streets, where if something grabs their attention that doesn't seem right, there's a lot of people around.
Audio from WFSB. Anyone with information on this case is being urged to get in touch with the Bridgeport PD. New Haven police say they have worked with community groups to successfully prevent retaliation for a teen murder. 15-year-old Caden Phillips was killed last month, allegedly, by a 13-year-old who is now in police custody. Police and the community groups then fanned out through the city to talk to other teens to cool things down. Ronald Higgins is Deputy Director of New Haven Youth and Recreation.
Well, I think what's important to highlight is what happens when people work together. There are some people that our team have relationships with who may be a little bit more open to saying, I need help, rather than seeing it from an officer and vice versa. It means a lot that our police department, our chief, actually trusts these community groups and other agencies to be able to work together.
Police Chief Carl Jacobson says Operation Safety Net included school resource officers reaching out to students, and together their messaging worked to prevent additional violence. 2 people are dead and others injured following a serious crash this morning in Prospect. Crash occurred along Route 69 and Talmadge Hill Road. Investigators say it was just before 5:30 when the collision occurred. Several others were sent to the hospital. The crash also damaged a utility pole that cut power in the area for a time, and it also impacted school buses in the area, causing lengthy delays. Names of those involved in what led up to the crash have not been released. Meantime, a woman is dead after East Hartford police say she was struck by a vehicle in town this morning. Accident happened just after 5, the intersection of Silver Lane and Forbes Street. They say the driver of the vehicle did stop and is cooperating with the police investigation. President Trump says he spoke to his Russian counterpart today, and Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Trump believes he can get Putin and Ukraine President Zelensky together.
There were discussions and plans are now being made for the Russian side and our folks, led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, to meet, and then for President Putin and President Trump to perhaps meet again. But I don't think the president has closed the door on that at all.
Trump says he could meet with Putin in Hungary. Case against former National Security Advisor John Bolton could go before a grand jury, perhaps as early as today in Greenbelt, Maryland. Correspondent Scott McFarland is the latest.
There were discussions and...
We'll get that report from Scott coming up. Meantime, numerous state officials met at Yale New Haven Children's Hospital Emergency Department today. They're reminding residents time of the year to get vaccines, specifically the issue of RSV. Yale had over 700 kids hospitalized with the virus last winter. Yale's Associate Medical Director for Infection Prevention, Dr. Tom Murray, says there is a way that parents can help children prevent catching the RSV infection.
The first is there's an antibody that is available to all newborns within the state of Connecticut and is recommended and approved that reduces hospitalization by 90% for babies from RSV. The brand name is called Beyfortus, and we have been offering it within our health system to every baby who is born within respiratory season from October to April.
WTIC News Time is 3:04. Checking traffic this Thursday. Get some delays reported now into the city out of Windsor. 91 South Congestion between exits 35A and 32. We also have some delays along the shoreline, along the 95 corridor, northbound out of the Westport area between exit 17 up through Black Rock and Bridgeport at exit 26. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast. And here's meteorologist Bob Cox.
An area of high pressure slowly building in from the Great Lakes is going to keep our weather dry over the next few days. The pressure difference, though, between that high and a storm out over the ocean is going to keep things breezy this afternoon with some wind gusts up around 30 miles an hour at times from the north to northwest. It remains sunny, at least until 6:07 when the sun sets this evening, and temperatures don't get out of the 50s today. Mainly clear tonight, lows 32 to 40. Some areas could see a bit of frost toward dawn. Friday is mostly sunny with a high near 60 degrees. It'll be clear to partly cloudy tomorrow night, lows between 32 and 40. Temperatures will start to turn a bit milder over the weekend. Saturday, we get into the low to mid 60s with a mostly sunny sky, and the wind will be light. A southerly breeze will pick up a little bit during Sunday, but that's going to push highs well into the 60s to about 70 under a partly to mostly sunny sky. And there'll be some showers around at times later Sunday night into part of Monday. Monday's highs in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow down 319 points. The NASDAQ is down 141, and the S&P's off by 48. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S33086999, SN3004646, E1185643.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with John. The taxes don't pay a nickel more than you're supposed to, especially getting close to retirement or in retirement. Call or text the word taxes to request your free copy of our Tax Explorer Guide, 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word taxes, 1-800-705-1232. Don't pay an extra nickel in taxes.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Do you have a
It's
dark
a sickness,
curiosity?
Jason.
Heart
It's a
Starts Pounding,
sickness.
Horrors, Hauntings, and Mysteries is a weekly podcast hosted by me, Kaylin Moore. Each week, I'll take you on a dark journey through terrifying true urban legends, bizarre true crime cases, chilling tales of backwoods horror, and more. So if you're looking to join a passionate community of the darkly curious, check out Heart Starts Pounding on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, stay curious.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
After we do headlines, I want to do something a little controversial here as it relates to this story with Mimi. A conversation my wife and I had yesterday about the relationship with her mother. You don't want to miss this, because if you are Hispanic on the program and listening to the program, I want to hear from you about this. This is it's a weird theory, but it goes based on this report and my conversation with my wife as it relates to her mother. But I'll explain that in a minute. But let's get to some headlines. With his growing momentum, former Governor Andrew Cuomo will focus more attacks on the frontrunner Zohran Mamdani in their first debate for mayor for New York City at 30 Rockefeller Center, which airs at 7 p.m. Of course, check your local listings if you want to check out the debate. I expect there to be fireworks because Curtis Sliwa will be there. I don't think that Curtis Sliwa has much of a chance, but I do believe that he'll shake it up a bit. Given the opportunity to speak, he'll be able to condemn both of these folks. He's not a fan of the Cuomos, definitely not, and darn sure not a fan of Zohran Mamdani. So just his appearance alone should be explosive. There should be a lot of sound bites out of that. Whatever comes of it, we'll play it during tomorrow's program. The Connecticut Office of Inspectors General has found that 3 members of a regional SWAT team were justified when they returned fire toward a man who had barricaded himself in a North Haven home in 2024 while armed with a shotgun and other firearms in the house. The findings of the investigation were released yesterday, in a report filed by the Inspector General, Elliot Prescott. In the 36-page report, Prescott said he concluded that Detective Raymond Wilson Jr. of the East Haven Police Department and Officer Rocco Morgan of the Branford Police Department and Corporal Thomas Pacelli of the North Branford Police Department were justified when they fired multiple rounds at Robert Mazurik, who was not hit by the gunfire but was later arrested on several charges. The Connecticut Department of Transportation recently conducted a survey that showed 80% of the state's residents do not feel comfortable walking or biking on state roads and the roadways. According to that report, nutmeggers say that the pathways are cracked and car traffic are key factors. I didn't know it was that bad, but look, I'm going to be honest with you. I know people like riding in the street, and it's just, if you're riding your bike in certain areas, and we're going to have a big bike ride next year, but when you're riding your bike out there, just find a park to go to. Just do that. It's the safest way to travel. It's too dangerous on Connecticut roads. We know that. Everybody knows it. I don't know how many times we have to hear it. I've done reports here about people and the amount of people who end up dying or facing serious injury because of it. And again, it's a combination of 2 things, and that is horrible driving and bad roads. And you just, again, you can't trust it. Sorry. Just can't do it. All right, now the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Roland, are you using any of these AI chats like ChatGPT or Grok? Are you using any of these at this moment? Like, do you even investigate them?
No. One of my boys is real into it though.
Really? Okay.
He's making songs with it.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, I've been using them quite a bit, right? And I like them because for research they're really, really great. You can be specific. Like I was just telling Mark in West Hartford today that if he's asking me, he's like, how do you do your research? And I'm like, if I'm looking for stories that I may have missed, I can ask Grok, give me 10 stories that are important, but the news media isn't covering. And it will go out and find all of the articles and the links to those stories without any spin. It'll just tell me what those stories are. This is a hot story. This is a hot, event that's going on in New Haven. This is happening in Bridgeport. It'll give me a list. So if I specify my search, it will tell me. It's better than Google and all that other nonsense. But this story is probably the best because you are supposed to, and it's up to you to do it, you're supposed to delete everything that you search for, especially if you're searching for something that might be questionable, which should have been the case with Ryan Schaefer. He was arrested and charged with felony property damage for a rampage at a Missouri State University parking lot. Investigators allege that Schaefer shattered car windows, ripped off side mirrors, dented hoods, and broke windshield wipers during a 3 a.m. spree. When he was confronted with surveillance footage and other evidence, Schaefer said that he could see the resemblance between the suspect and himself, saying, yeah, it kind of looks like me. But then he consented to a search on his iPhone, which you never do. You make them get a warrant. But he consented. A subsequent review of the device revealed the location data, placing Schaefer at or near the scene of the crime, as well as a troubling dialogue exchange that he had with ChatGPT. Now, in ChatGPT, just like Grok, you can talk to the AI, and it will talk back to you. And in this, he asked, how effed up am I? Will I go to jail? He also asked ChatGPT, what if I smash the ish out of multiple cars? He actually asked, to which they arrested him because he pretty much self-indicted himself. That's redundant, but he self-indicted. And yeah, that's why he's been charged. So I saw this and I just went, I love ChatGPT. I mean, it's cute. I don't think it's as good as Grok though, but it's cute. I'll ask ChatGPT a question and then ask Grok the same question to see how they respond. Because primarily ChatGPT will go immediately in the left. And I just want to hear that perspective. But I'll go to Grok. And this is another great thing that you can do if you're interested. Before or when you ask the question, you can preface the question by saying, no spin, just facts. And then ask the question. And it will tell you just the facts. Every bit of it. And if you think that it's telling you a lie or it's wrong, you can express that in there and it will come back to you and says, no spin. This is the truth. And I mean, it actually does it. So it's actually pretty good. And I think it's fun. But don't use it to commit crimes. Okay? Just something that you should take to heart. Back to the Mimi story before I go to the phones. I was talking to my wife about this in the car, and in thinking about this story with Mimi Torres, Matty O in the chat room said, did they ever tell why she was killed? And I have my suspicion, but it's a little convoluted. I don't think it's the thing that I'm going to discuss, but I think it's associated with it. Let me start from the back. So Roseanne and I are driving, and she's talking about what it was like as a child, and she was yelling at me about how we both grew up wearing hand-me-downs. I wore the hand-me-downs of the kids in the neighborhood who were, I thought, was being kind and giving me their barely used clothing, and then making fun of me at school. Roseanne had to wear her brother's clothing, and she was talking about how traumatic that was. Like she was like having to dress like a boy. And the shoes that she was wearing were her brother's shoes, and they were much too large. And she never understood why her mother didn't even bother to get her hand-me-downs from girls. And I was like, that's interesting. And she began talking about like our childhood. We started going down that rabbit hole of talking about our childhood. And then I was talking about other cases where in the Latin community, parents, mothers in particular, always have this rivalry with their daughters. And I was like, why is that? And it always turns out, no matter where I go and I start having these conversations with Hispanic, Latina women, it is always these rivalries with their mother. Either they really get along with their mother or they have rivalries with their mother. But when they have the rivalry, it is always about the father. The mother's jealousy of the father's relationship with the daughter. And that was an interesting dynamic. Now, I don't know if any other culture has that problem. Here's where it gets controversial. What have we seen in a lot of these third world cultures when we find these folks arrested in and around Connecticut and around the country? What is the overwhelming charge we keep seeing? You know. We see it all the time, and it is really like, why is there so many people charged with that? Like, why? And then my wife and I started having a conversation. And she said that it is a cultural thing. And I'm like, cultural, like what? She's like, yes, it's like, it's one of those taboos. Culturally. Now, I'm not sitting up here trying to condemn an entire group of people because, as you notice, I named no group. I didn't name any country, any region. I'm just saying that culturally, everywhere I go, speaking to the Hispanic community, this seems to be talked about all the time. That this is a problem. And again, mothers having problems with their daughters as it relates to this. Now, with that being said, let me go here. Carla resented Victor's involvement in stable family life with his mother, Patricia, raising the girls for 8 years. She weaponized child support and repeatedly tried jailing Victor, rejecting Patricia, his mother's offers to pay it off and to leave him alone. They say that she snapped when Victor started a new family, leading her to aggressively pursue custody. That's according to this report. They say that Victor stayed involved from jail. He reunited briefly with Carla, the mother, and later moved to Florida to build a better life for his daughters. The family sent food and snacks to Nina via school connections, and it persistently checked on Mimi, verifying her school enrollment. After suspicions, they confronted Jonathan to locate Carla. Oh, okay, this is the latter part of the deal. But what they're saying is that there have always been this rivalry when it came to Carla and the biological father, Victor, and him trying to pursue a relationship and connection with his daughter, Mimi. According to this report, that drove Carla nuts. And that anger and animus was always directed towards Mimi. Which, to answer Mattio's question, I think that's what led to where we are. With the constant, and again, we have verifiable knowledge that Carla, the mother, was always trying to find ways to attack and to malign and to keep Mimi away from Victor. Mimi was, in essence, the pawn in all of this, which I'm only suspecting here sounds like how we get to where we are, because it doesn't make sense outside of that. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense unless you are trying to punish the father for whatever relationship there is, that sort of anger. And again, this is all alleged, but according to this report that they laid out here, all of that seems to be laid out here. And this is being confirmed by two verifiable and very close relatives who are associated with this. So if there's any motive, that's what they're suggesting. Let's go to the phones. Bob is in Meriden. Hello, sir.
Yes, hello, Reese. Thank you for picking up the call. If you don't mind, if I could go back on the subject of accidents, pedestrians being hit in Connecticut and nationwide. I know they have a new law about helmets being required for electric bikes, but this is, just a recommendation, do you think if they made a law that people not on sidewalks, but jogging or driving bicycles in the road need a fluorescent vest? Do you think that would cause more accidents, or do you think it would reduce them?
I think that if it's during the day, not so much. I mean, there's a reflective vest during the day is almost
sun glare.
Yeah, because first of all, that could be damaging. Because remember, the sun glare could probably get in someone's eyes while they're driving.
They make police officers wear them, and they make construction people during the day wear them.
Wear them where?
If you're a construction person and you're on the road, it's mandated.
Yeah, but if you're in a construction, see, again, you're kind of making my point for me. If you're at a construction site, you're not riding down the road. You are stationary. You're in one particular region, right? If police officers, let me finish, please. If you're a police officer and you're standing in the road, you're standing in the road. What I'm talking about is if you are a bicycle rider during the day with a reflective vest.
Or at night.
No, we're talking about the day. I know about the night. The night is self-explanatory. I don't need to address that. But in the daytime, if the bicycle rider is driving, imagine he makes a turn, that reflective light happens immediately at that time and gets right into the eye of a driver, you're creating a hazardous situation.
Okay, I got you. Sounds good. Thank you for your input.
Not a problem. Stevie V, he said something interesting in the chat room when I was talking about what these people come to me with subjects and I have an answer for it. Let me read what he wrote. He says, what callers who often try to challenge you or argue with you don't realize is that you work blind without a call screener and you respond accordingly to the benefit of advanced notifications, without the benefit of advanced notifications. Yes, I don't know what you're calling about. I assume you're calling about the subject I'm talking about, but if you ask me about other stuff, I'm already prepared. My point exactly is why I do the homework, so I'm not caught flat-footed. Let's go to Mark in Windsor. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing, Reese? And hello to all your men and women listeners out there.
Mm-hmm. How are you, sir?
And I can't complain. I've been worse. Reese, have you ever heard the term parental alienation?
Yes, yes. Very much aware of it. In fact, I know a lot of girls back in the day who used to do that as it's sort of like as a retaliation towards the individual or the baby daddy, so to speak. It was always that child was neglected based upon the relationship of that individual's father.
Yeah, where the custodial parent, usually the mother, exerts control, or the non-custodial parent, usually the father,
right,
with the child,
right,
and whatever, and the child support. And I don't understand. I do not understand why DCF gave this woman the child, gave her custody of the child, took the custody away from the grandparents after 7 years, especially if the father was involved. And,
yes.
I think that in the interest of the public's interest, that this child is deceased now. This 11-year-old girl, she's deceased now. This should be made public. The DCF record should be made public. The who, what, whys, and whens, and where.
Yeah, because you're right. Because the most important thing to know here, and I think that's where we go down the trail, is what led DCF to make the final decision. Because there must have been a court involved, right? That says that they can legally remove the child from the only home that she's known since birth, right? Because both parents are incarcerated. They have the child since birth. 7 years, literally going through life, growing up, going to school, gaining friends, living in a community, and then saying we're going to uproot that child from the only place they knew somewhere else. And DCF had the right to do that, clearly with the court's assistance. What led to that?
Riddle me that.
Man.
Thank you. I just, come on, Batman. We got to get to it. We have to get to it because if the father was involved, the grandparents were involved, she had stability, continuity, a support system, and then to put her in, from my understanding, the mother's a crackhead. Am I wrong?
I don't know if that's evidence yet, but I do hear that's not in this report, but I've heard this outside that there were drugs involved and things of that nature, but I can't confirm that. But we do know that everybody there has got a criminal history, especially this Jonathan character, which I'm understanding according to this report. By the way, FYI, the guy who wrote this report just texted me. I'm about to call him during the break to see if I can get him on the air. But I'm going to get to the bottom of that, I promise you, Mark. Let me go to a break, man. And good hearing from you. I haven't heard from you in a while. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a great one.
You got it, man. Let's take a break. We'll be back. I'm going to talk to this gentleman real quick, see if I can get him on the air. If not, see if I can get some information for him for air. So stand by. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC, NewsTalk 1080.
Fall is here, and the bees are buzzing. Keep your home cozy with a heating tune-up from Call the Bee. Your system will thank you when the cold nights roll in. Need something bigger? We've got you covered, with free estimates on HVAC replacements and financing options to make upgrading easy. Visit callthebee.com. That's calltheb.com to schedule. Call the Bee Connecticut. Plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical professionals. We'll be there, and we'll be fair.
We started Henyon & Walsh for people like you. People with integrity, honesty, and loyalty. The result? We care about you and your investment success. We're dedicated to your financial goals, so we'll always give you our best efforts, because you've earned it. We're Henyon & Walsh, and committed to you. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279, or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henyon & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henyon & Walsh Inc., member FINRA SIPC.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30 Hartford, temperature 57 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. The sun sticks around for the balance of the afternoon. Bob Cox is in with the forecast details coming up. The investigation into a crash this morning in Prospect remains ongoing. Officers say the three-vehicle crash occurred near Route 69 and Talmadge Hill Road just before 5:30. Crash took out a utility pole and sent others to the hospital. A woman is dead, and police in East Hartford are investigating after they say she was struck by a vehicle early this morning. That crash happened at Silver Lane and Forbes Street. Driver of the vehicle did stay on scene, police say, and is cooperating with that investigation. President Trump has announced plans to meet with his Russian counterpart to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. That meeting set to take place in Budapest, Hungary, though a date has not yet been confirmed. An arrest has been made in the sexual assault of a teenage girl in Bridgeport who was attacked while walking to school this week. Police say they have arrested Cordero Javier Greaves. Officers say the girl was assaulted on Railroad Avenue Tuesday. They picked Greaves up a short time later at his house. He now faces a number of charges and is being held on bond. A judge says federal immigration officers in the Chicago area will be required to wear body cameras after the use of tear gas used against protesters and reports of a high-speed chase through a residential area. And Wethersfield police on the lookout for a carjacking suspect. They say the person pulled a woman from her gray Buick LaCrosse at the Stop and Shop on the Berlin Turnpike last night. The victim was not injured. WTIC News Time, 3:32. Here's Bob at the forecast.
Our sky remains sunny this afternoon, and it also remains breezy with a north to northwest wind at 12 to 20, occasionally gusting to 30 miles an hour or so. Highs stuck in the 50s. Tonight's mostly clear, lows between 32 and 40 degrees.
All right, Roland, Lost
Mostly
Fidel
sunny
is
Friday,
calling
the high
in
near
on
60,
the
and
on the
wind
hotline.
speeds will be lower than today, mostly averaging about 10 to 15
Right now?
per hour. Friday
Yeah,
night,
just
partly
sent him a
cloudy,
text. Just told him to
lows
call
in
him
the
right now.
30s to
Okay.
40. The weekend, we'll see milder temperatures developing. Saturday's mostly sunny with light wind and highs in the low to mid 60s. Partly to mostly sunny and mild Sunday. A southerly breeze develops during the day, pushing highs well into the 60s to around 70. Some showers around at times during Sunday night into part of Monday. Monday's high will be in the 60s and a mix of sun and clouds Tuesday. Still the chance for passing shower, highs in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down 424 points. NASDAQ's down 201. S&P off 63. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Don't let ugly algae streaks bring down your curb appeal. Choose the roof that keeps its color, its strength, and its beauty. Atlas Roofing with Scotchgard Protector. Because the only thing your neighbors should notice is how great your roof looks. Please visit peterlbrown.com.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com. A winning team has great players and coaches with different strengths and expertise, but all with a common goal, to win. A full-service law firm is no different. At BPS Lawyers, we have top legal minds in every specialty: personal injury, business law, family law, criminal defense, and more. Visit any of our 6 offices across Connecticut. When it comes to the law, you don't just need a lawyer. You need a full-service law firm. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Visit bpslawyers.com. Proud full-service law partner of UConn Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for this ad.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your
Perfect.
business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters.
Roland,
and
can you
install
call
Leaf
that number,
Filter,
please? See if we can get him on the
America's
phone.
#1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
The Urban League of Greater Hartford is ready for Halloween with our annual Trunk or Treat, Friday, October 24th, from 4 to 6 p.m. in the Urban League parking lot, 140 Woodland Street. Save Halloween family fun, candy, treats, children's books, fresh produce distribution, a DJ, and more. Dress up is optional. No advance registration is required. Children 12 and under must be accompanied by an adult. Friday, October 24th, from 4 to 6 p.m. in the Urban League parking lot, 140 Woodland Street. Visit ulgh.org for more information.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, and quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hi, this is Robert H. Steele, one of the sons of WTIC's Bob Steele, wishing WTIC a very happy anniversary.
Well, we thank you for that, sir. All right, folks, I didn't expect this to happen, but like I said, it's fly by the seat of your pants radio sometimes. On the phone with us is the gentleman that I said that I was going to get in touch with and see if I could get him on the show. He reached out to me. He is on the line now. He is known as Los Fidel, and he has done some extensive reporting on the death of Mimi Torres and joins us today. Los, thank you very much for being part of the program on such short notice and being able to share the information that you gathered on this. Let me go sort of ahead of all of this and ask you just one question. Have you been able to get any information from your sources that have explained to you or been able to relate to you what may have been the cause of all of this abuse that Mimi may have allegedly endured? Do you have any information on that?
So I would like to preface any statements I make by saying that I have not done much research. I have not questioned the family. I have not. All of the information that was given to me was information that I was asked to put out there.
Okay.
So, it's my understanding that they do have a cause of death, but I didn't ask any questions in regards to that or anything that I felt wasn't the information I was privy to.
Okay, so no one has shared any information. So these are people sharing information with you to get out to the public because they have firsthand knowledge of this. And there has been no information that says to you what led to this abuse in any way, like whether or not there was something related to the mom and the father, the daughter, or anything like that. So that information was not given to you.
So it's my understanding that the abuse was prolonged. As for the actual cause of death, again, I'm not sure, but the abuse that occurred was at the hands of the mother, her sister, and the mother's boyfriend.
Okay.
The father was not in the picture at the time,
right?
But they all contributed to her abuse.
Death, her abuse, and of course her subsequent death. Los, let me ask you this: according to your reporting, the most damaging part of this, or the most damning part of all of this, is that the three individuals who were charged did not do this under any cover of darkness, that there were indeed individuals who were very much aware of the abuse.
Yes.
And you talk about a particular woman who arrived at the scene of her location that was in New Britain, a particular individual who started shouting something along the lines of, "You guys have been driving around with her for a week," which then suggested that somebody who knew some detail like that there was driving around with Mimi's dead body in the car, had to be somebody who knew.
So I didn't get into detail regarding that, and I should have, but when Mimi was already in, I'm so sorry. When Carla was already in police custody, this family member showed up to the scene screaming that. So that family member had no. All right, 1 second, Papa. That family member had no opportunity to speak to Carla before or after arriving at the scene. So the fact that they arrived with that information already known to them, it does imply that they were aware already. And I can't say anything that'll jeopardize the case, but I will say that the person that I got that, or that I was told that from, who was on the scene, is not the same person who had confirmed to me that police made mention of the fact that the other family members knew the whole time. Family members, specifically family members that were acting sad, were already aware.
Okay, so there was a lot of performative behavior at the scene of people crying and being sorrowful, even though they knew that Mimi had been dead a year.
Yes, sir.
There's another part of your report, because a young lady who was on WFSB was saying that she was one of the individuals who shouted at Jonathan during the arraignment. And so you laughed because you know what I'm getting into next. So that sort of leads me to this point, is that there is what you believe in, what information you've been getting from individuals in the know, is that there is some sort of effort to pin all of this on Jonathan to at least save the hides of her mother and her aunt. In other words, to sort of, and they're sort of playing that narrative up inside the courtroom with people, with sort of like their outrage is to say that Jonathan is the main culprit in all of this, and the other ones are just sort of sub-actors.
Right. Yep. The person I spoke to did say that. I know if you watch the courtroom, I guess the courtroom appearance, you will hear her scream at Jonathan.
Yeah.
But you won't hear her scream at anyone else.
Yeah,
and in fact,
she makes mention of that. She makes mention of that.
Right. Yeah, but she said it in a way that implied that she had the same energy for everyone. So those, as you stated, those were words that came out of her own mouth. However, that's not what I'm hearing from other people close to the case that were there, that were on scene.
So you've been gathering more and more information about this, and I know that the information that you've been getting are coming from firsthand knowledge. If I can ask you this, and if you can't answer it, I appreciate it. If not, I respect it.
Sure.
Are these family members, or these people who are in the know, are they coming to you because out of fear of, obviously, of retribution, but they're getting it out there because they want more information to come out that they cannot give themselves out of fear of retribution, or whatever the case may be? Are you the conduit to get that information out?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, truth is, I live in New Haven, so I don't really run into these people in New Britain and Hartford, and I don't really either fear for my safety either. You know, I'm not really concerned with any threats or anything that may come of this. So it's also another thing is that when I put the information out there, police can just write me off as an unreliable source or whatever. But when the family starts to do it, now they can potentially be I forget the word, but
subpoenaed.
Just and jeopardize the case in different ways.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Another thing too is because of the efforts to paint it, put it all on Jonathan, and not hold the people that are responsible. Then you could have something like what happened with Casey and Kaylee Anthony, where mom got away with it. So we just want to make sure that the truth is out there, regardless of the outcome of the case.
Right. That's all. That's the only thing that anybody can ask for, is that the fact that all of this is the truth comes out. The people who are responsible are held responsible. And those who are pretending, like I said, we may learn that there were other individuals who aided and abetted in this, but that investigation, in order for that to happen, they've got to listen to the people who know. They can't, because I do believe, and we're trying to find this out, is that whether or not people are so concerned or embarrassed by this, that they will make this an open and shut case before we get all the evidence. So I thank you for, when I found your thing popped up on my screen, you and I don't even know each other. Your Facebook feed ended up on my screen, and I went, oh, who's this guy? And then I started going through your material, and you were actually corroborating a lot of information I was getting. So that was the reason why I contacted you. So, Los Fidel, thank you for all of your work. If anything comes up, you have my cell phone number. Please get in touch with me. We'll either get you on or we'll just share what you learn, okay?
Yeah, I would just like to know, too, that I put out some of the information before the press conference, and police only corroborated what I said and added validity to the truth behind it. I've been trying to be careful. There are a lot of other things that I've been told that I've held to myself. And
okay.
I believe a lot more information will come out. But there's.
Well, listen, let me help you. Let me help you this way, Los. And I think this will be helpful to you. If you're concerned about that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you in touch with our guy, Mark Walsh, right? He is our reporter on the scene. He is literally on the ground. If there's anything that you need assistance, this guy knows all the players and all the people. So he knows somebody who knows somebody, so that you can get the information that corroborates what you're learning, so that you're not out there putting yourself on a limb legally, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that sincerely.
Not a problem. All right, thank you again, Los Fidel. We'll keep in contact with you, and we'll bring you back as soon as we need. Okay.
All right, sure.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So there it is, from the horse's mouth. The guy who's getting information, family members and people in the know are contacting him, giving me the information, using him to convey what they know. Let me go to Mark, who ironically is on the call. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, I'm sure glad he came forward. It's not easy. I understand. You can hear his reservation, but you know what'll happen is he's going to realize after this phone call he did the right thing.
Yep.
And that feeling there, you just can't describe. So I'm hoping that he'll be part of your show from here on in, at least regarding this.
Yeah.
So the other day, I said, I want to create Mimi's Law. Well, there's about 10 of them now, so I'm going to have to think of something different.
No, you don't. No. You just join on to the Mimi's Law and see if we could, with everybody.
Yeah, we could tag along.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
with 10 people on it, we could do something.
And I guess I spoke really without having a full understanding. So yesterday I spent a good time talking with friends and family. Most of my family wears blue, and my friends, and I've got the Reese Hopkins version in the police department that I go to when I really want to find it, like when I'm stuck.
Right.
So this is what I said the other day. What I wanted to do is have the mandated reporters be forced to tell the police department in conjunction with DCF. But either way, it's not an or, it's not police. But then I found out yesterday, and this is disturbing, I want everybody to pay attention. So if, let's say you do call 911, the police go there and they see there's abuse, neglect, they pass it off to DCF. Basically, that ball never gets handed back to the police department. And as we know and see what happens with Connecticut DCF, we are relying on these people to do thorough investigations, which, first of all, my police friend said that they're not qualified to do these type of investigations like a police
Because
officer.
if somebody was breaking the law, how would they know? It's DCF.
So what he told me is that without them passing the ball back, when they're done doing their thing, their decisions, whatever they came up with, at least the police department now, whether it's a detective division, wherever it's advanced within the departments, they know how to look at these. They'll be able to review everything and say, like, hey, don't close the case yet.
Right.
You need to do this. You need to do that. But I cannot believe that. I just assume that police are involved all the way through.
Yeah.
Once there is a report of neglect or abuse.
Yeah.
That's the law that needs to be changed.
Exactly.
We need to make sure police are playing as a partner to DCF all the way to the end.
It would change.
So when there is a final report, we're going to see both of them sign off on it.
Yeah.
Not these incompetent. Listen, they're incompetent. We know that. But we now need the local police department, wherever the neglect and abuse took place. And the last thing I'll ask you,
I gotta take a break. I'm sorry, man.
We'll talk tomorrow.
You got it, man. All right, thanks, man. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We got traffic and weather coming up, and of course, much more to the program. Negro nonsense coming up very soon. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
If you've been having your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with an iced coffee from somewhere else, now's a great time to reconsider.
Wake up to a warm sausage McMuffin with egg for $3 and add your favorite any size iced coffee in caramel, black, or French vanilla for just $1.29 during breakfast hours only. Prices and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Slow, clogged, backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free.
Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
You're listening to
1 minute.
The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I forgot. I actually have to mention that we've got Larissa Dolly on the program tomorrow. Roseanne is going to join me in interviewing her. She is the one of the actresses in a film called Becky, and she's also got I think some work going. She's going to be working with Tyler Perry in the future, but very, very beautiful young actress and producer will be on the program tomorrow. Larissa Dolly joins the program. We'll talk about her and everything that she's doing as well. And next week, Wednesday, we got Robert Cool Bell of Kool and the Gang joining the show on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. When we return at the top of the hour, of course, we'll do between rounds, but we've got Negro Nonsense, and I've already told you what it's about because yesterday we talked about it, and that's the Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. There's so much more to what she said that there's going to be a discussion about this Supreme Court hearing forever and ever and ever. And it's a discussion that needs to be had. So that's why we're featuring it this week on Negro Nonsense. So stand by for that. Also, on the program coming up, we've got, what was this thing? Yeah. Hollywood news. I know that sometimes things are desperate in Hollywood, but I think this one takes the cake. But I can't wait to mention it because even Mark Christopher is going to have an opinion about this Hollywood news. He doesn't watch any movies, but I know he'll have an opinion about this one, as will you. So stay tuned for that. Also, we got a whole bunch of other news views. I've got audio sound bites to boot. Did you know that Hakeem Jeffries is in the hot seat to continue to be the leader of the Democrat Party? There may be a vote coming up, and it don't look good, according to Axios. We'll tell you some of the details of the people who are possibly saying no, and they are some Connecticutans, some nutmeggers in public office who have no real enthusiasm for Hakeem Jeffries remaining as the leader. So we'll talk about that as well. Donald Trump makes some announcements as well. He's been making them all week. We'll get into some of that stuff as well. And plus your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. And plus we'll read your text messages and your messages in the chat room. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, sir?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the southbound side of I-91. You're going to see slow traffic now coming down from exit 33 down to 32 A and B. Some slow traffic again, 27 down to 28. Northbound 91, a little bit slow, moving up between 20 and 21 in Middletown into Cromwell. After that, moving well Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to exit 47. Sigourney 84 eastbound delays about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbounds tied up 1D up to the 84 West merge. 291 eastbound slowing from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 84 westbound in Farmington slows 47 out to exit 37 out to exit 33 in Plainville. And if you're heading into Waterbury, westbound 84 tied up 26 in Cheshire to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing by 18 in Waterbury. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be breezy. There will be lots of sunshine as well, with highs ranging from 57 to 60 degrees. Clear skies will linger tonight. We'll head down to a low of 40 degrees, and high pressure remains overhead into tomorrow. That sets us up with a beautiful day. Mostly sunny skies, high up to 64, then clear and chilly tomorrow night, low 37. The start of the weekend looks great. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 63. Then we start to warm up as we head into Sunday, turning out partly sunny, breezy, another nice day with a high Sunday up to 69. We do have a storm moving into the area Sunday night. That is going to bring some rain to the region. Then as we head into Monday, mostly cloudy. There will be a bit of rain around, mainly early in the day, with a high Monday up to 65. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut, from breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock. Hartford temperature 57 degrees, sunny skies in Hartford. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. New Haven police are crediting their community outreach for preventing retaliation after last month's shooting death of a 15-year-old boy. A 13-year-old is charged as a juvenile in the murder of Caden Phillips. Police Chief Carl Jacobson says officers worked with the Department of Youth and Recreation and others to help city teens channel their grief and frustration.
We kind of labeled it Operation Safety Net, and we sent officers as well. And we sent the officers that are in the schools with these kids every day. And that's important because those officers are really good. They're really good with the kids like them. This messaging was incredible, and I think it saved some lives.
Youth and Rec Deputy Director Ronald Huggins says some teens are more likely to open up to community agencies than they are to police, but he says the collaboration at a time of crisis was a success. Case against former National Security Advisor John Bolton could go before grand jury in Greenbelt, Maryland. Correspondent Scott McFarland.
Multiple sources tell CBS News a presentation by the Department of Justice seeking an indictment, a criminal indictment against former National Security Advisor John Bolton, could happen with that grand jury in that courthouse this afternoon.
2 people are dead, others injured following a serious crash this morning in the town of Prospect. Crash occurred along Route 69, Talmadge Hill Road. Investigators say it was just before 5:30 when the collision occurred. Several others were sent to the hospital. The crash also damaged a utility pole and cut power to the area for a time. Also impacted school buses in the area, causing lengthy delays. Names of those involved and what led up to the crash have not yet been released. Day 16 of the government shutdown, and neither side's budging, as we hear from Stacey Lynn.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says the Democrats have been clear.
We're not going to support a partisan Republican spending bill that guts the health care of the American people. This is a major issue for millions of Americans all across the country.
And while he says it requires urgent action now, Speaker Mike Johnson says
we were always planning to continue the debate and discussion about that issue.
But he says the government needs to reopen first.
The Obamacare subsidy issue is not the issue of today.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump turning his attention back to the Russia-Ukraine conflict from the Middle East. He had a call with the Russian president today, reports CBS's Linda Kenyon.
President Trump says the call with President Putin was very productive. Posting on social media, the president said the two are planning to meet in Hungary. But first, says White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, will be a meeting of high-level advisors.
Plans are now being made for the Russian side and our folks, led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, to meet.
The call with Russia's president today comes in advance of tomorrow's White House visit with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
October marks the start of when infectious diseases start rearing their heads through communities. State Department of Public Health Commissioner Dr. Manisha Jutani, speaking at Yale today, says there's a way you can help reduce the impact of several recurring diseases.
Anybody 6 months and older who wants a COVID or flu shot can get one, whether it be at your public health department, pharmacy, doctor's office.
He also points to the threat of RSV posing to newborns, pregnant women, and older adults, saying that vaccine is available as well. Markets down on Wall Street, Dow off 300 points, NASDAQ down 107, S&P down 41. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
It's Thanksgiving morning. Join the fun with thousands of others for the 89th running
Yes,
of the
sir.
Manchester Road Race. Whether you run or walk, you'll be part of one of the greatest sports traditions in Connecticut. You can register now at manchesterroadrace.com. And please keep in mind that net proceeds from the Manchester Road Race go to local food charities. So if you run or walk but don't register, the charities lose. Please register today at manchesterroadrace.com.
Experience a night of musical grandeur with the Hartford Symphony Orchestra, October 17th through the 19th at the Bushnell. Enjoy an unforgettable performance under the direction of Vishwa Subbaraman, featuring Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 3, showcasing the brilliant guest pianist Drew Peterson. Feel the stormy intensity as we explore Carl Nielsen's Helios Overture and Sibelius' Symphony No. 2, a powerful exploration of contrast and renewal. Reserve your seats today. Call 860-987-5900 or visit hartfordsymphony.org.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds, between rounds.
I forgot where I was. There she is, Cynthia G. of Tallinn. She is the winner of the Dozen Bagels a Month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. Don't forget, you can always pick up a bacon, egg, and cheese chipotle mayo from Hellman's, and avocado bagel. It's called the Becca. 50 cents of those proceeds go to the Food Share of Connecticut Food Share. So be a part of that. Also, if you'd like to win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Don't forget, you got to live in the state of Connecticut, and also you can not have won in the last 6 months, and you cannot be Roseanne. I've got this question that's been bugging me, and I'd just like to ask the liberals who listen to this program. Let's say we were holding a protest that said, Yes Kings. Like we were holding a Yes Kings protest. And we were passing out flyers. And we were putting them online. Join us on October 19th, the day after the No Kings. Yes Kings, the day after. And you were going over the flyer of the people who are contributing to the festivities across the country. 40 in the state of Connecticut. We were all holding them the day after your rally. And we had, some of the individuals who were sponsoring it, because we put them all on all the posters, saying, join us and some of our proud sponsors. Speaking of proud, one of those proud sponsors is the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. And we put that prominently on the poster. We displayed it everywhere. What would you say? What would you say to us? What would the reports be in Politico, in the New York Times? Oh, we don't have to imagine. But I found something odd on the poster that you guys put out for No Kings on the 18th. And I'm trying to figure out, why is this rally for No Kings being sponsored by the Communist Party USA? Explain yourselves. All right, because you're not communists, are you? Oh, that's interesting. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays approaching 33 down to 32 IMB. A little slow again from 27 down to 28. If you are on the northbound side of 91, it's a little slow getting by exit 20 Country Club Road in Middletown. Again, a brief slowdown, 25, 26 in Wethersfield. Traveling on the westbound side of 84, you're slowing approaching the Boakley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows from 44 Prospect Oakwood down into the tunnel. 2 westbound is tied up 1D up to the 84 West merge. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni. Westbound 84 in Cheshire tight 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing by exit 17 up to exit 18. Southbound Parkway, some sluggish traffic 50 into the West Rock, and northbound Parkway got slow traffic approaching 46 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
Why is NJM Insurance silent in an industry full of catchy jingles? And how do they do what's right when things go wrong? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries to find out.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be rather breezy with lots of sunshine. We'll have highs ranging from 57 to 60. Clear skies stick around through tonight. We'll head down to a low temperature of 40. Then high pressure remains overhead through tomorrow. Mostly sunny, another nice day with a high up to 64. Then clear and chilly tomorrow night as we head down to a low 37. This weekend's looking great. Saturday, mostly sunny, high 63. Then we'll see a mix of sun and clouds on Sunday. A little bit warmer as well with a breeze and a high up to 69. Right now it's 55 degrees in South Glastonbury, 56 in Canton, and 57 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
Ugh, dead battery.
Head to Batteries Plus. Our experts will set you up with a new car battery. Most are installed in under 20 minutes.
That was fast.
Upgrade with a premier install for longer battery life. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge.
At Columbia Dental, we love to make kids smile. Our expert pediatric dentists specialize in children's dental care, making every visit fun and comfortable. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
ALO Home Services, same day electrical. I gave them a call and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P102776688, S104-13487, D104-01465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Life insurance. Come on, minute. Putting it off. Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your traffic. So get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Save 77% on NordVPN and get 3 extra months.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, now we are back. Yes, Polly, I did get the video that you sent me. I'm already prepared for a bunch of other stuff, but I did get the video. I will watch it. You know what time it is.
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Ketanji Brown Jackson. She was, of course, appointed by none other than Joe Biden. He had promised the American people that he was going to make sure that a black woman served on the Supreme Court. We were told by everyone in the news media within 15 minutes of the announcement how brilliant she was, how clearly this was the best choice ever, how young black girls would see Ketanji Brown Jackson and see themselves in that woman, which kind of brings us to our point. In oral arguments about the Voting Rights Act, which was always a law, the challenge today is about why do we need it? And what we're learning in this argument is that blacks think alike. That is the debate. Whether you like it or not, that is the debate. Blacks think like other blacks. That's it. And if anyone doesn't, I don't know, maybe they're just defective. But that's what this is about. But what was far worse than all of that, and we'll have that debate, trust me, it will go on forever and ever. People will say, but no, we're not a monolith, but then when it's convenient, we all are. We're treated the same. People see us the same. Oh, no, that's a fact. We all are the same, no matter what. And then get offended when we use words like black jobs, but don't get offended when we hear the words black unemployment. But what I've always said about this debate, be it about reparations, be it about redlining, being it about DEI, be it about, restorative justice, leaner penalties, leniency when it comes to the criminal justice system, all of that stuff, it is always going back to one thing, and that is we need to treat blacks specifically. I don't care what they say about brown people. They don't mean them. Blacks, because of the original sin of slavery, are special needs individuals. They are. Sorry. That is. Try to spin it all you want. But listen to Ketanji Brown Jackson and try to get past all the legalese. But she is making a case that we have to understand that black folks being able to vote for black folks is important. Access. Just like a handicapped person getting into a building.
I guess I'm thinking of the fact that remedial action, absent discriminatory intent, is really not a new idea in the civil rights laws. And my kind of paradigmatic example of this is something like the ADA. Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act against the backdrop of a world that was generally not accessible to people with disabilities.
This is a smart woman, obviously qualified to be a Supreme Court justice.
And so it was discriminatory in effect because these folks were not able to access these buildings.
Black folks accessing the voter rolls. Handicapped people getting into buildings. And the building owner had to remedy that by building ramps. Smartest woman in the Supreme Court, they told us.
And it didn't matter whether the person who built the building or the person who owned the building intended for them to be exclusionary. That's irrelevant. Congress said the facilities have to be made equally open to people with disabilities if readily possible.
Now, if she's not saying that, we have to ask ourselves, why is she saying it? If this isn't what she meant, why is she saying it? Context matters. Words matter. This is a court case about the Voters' Rights Act, about African Americans wanting to have a redistricting measure based upon their race so that they can vote for people who look like them. And the breakdown is because all black people will vote for an all-black candidate. And if you have a black district that is majority black, if a black person runs, the black person will win. Because the quality of their life, the view that they have on the world will immediately supersede anything and everything. Now, remind all of us, I will remind every one of us, at the same time that is being made in the Supreme Court, that argument is being made in the Supreme Court, that black folks need other black folks to vote for by the sheer measure of their blackness. Somebody explained to me how the first black president of the United States endorsed Abigail Spamberger, a white woman, over Winsome Sears, the current black lieutenant governor of Virginia. Someone explain it. I can't hear you. Barack Hussein Obama is endorsing Abigail Spamberger and not the black woman, Winsome Sears, while they're having this argument in the Supreme Court. Okay.
I guess I don't understand why that's not what's happening here. The idea in Section 2 is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system.
So anybody who said that she was making a kind of an analogy, no, direct context. Black folks are disabled. We have to give them access. But wait, there's more. Still think I'm stretching? Okay.
Right? They're disabled. In fact, we use the word disable in Milligan. We say that's a way in which you see that these processes are not equally open.
Now, I told you, I said this a long time ago, those who listened to my podcast some 3, 4, 5 years ago, I told you that was going to be the case. I told you that the argument was going to be made. Because again, it's sort of like it's trying a new tactic in order to make a broader point, right? Because then when it was provable that we couldn't associate blacks living today with slavery because they were just too far removed from it, that they would try a new tactic. And the new tactic a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, do you remember what it was? Anybody? I'll tell you. It was generational trauma. It was just because you were black, you had some sort of lineage to slavery. It was coursing through your veins, they told us. I'm not making that up. Oh, no, they told us that oppression went through the bloodline, and you were feeling it too, that it was a part of your genetic code, they told us. And then that didn't fly, because, of course, the scientists threw that right out the window and said, yeah, we're not going to be able to prove that, sorry. They had to throw it out. So now, disability. Mark, but you're going to say it to me in a couple of weeks. It's like, dude, how did you see that coming? Because they had to justify how stupid this woman is. They'll make that argument. You'll see it everywhere. Essence Magazine will write an article about it. So will Ebony, the Griot, and every other black publication will do it. And then the New York Times. Once they hear or get wind that people are talking about it online, they'll get some rube at the New York Times to write an extensive piece as to why, in some ways, African Americans are just like those in wheelchairs. Just like them. Mark my words, they need to justify this nonsense. And again, black people, you should be offended. You should be offended, but you won't. You won't, because you do not care how bad these people will disparage you, how much they will marginalize you, as long as there's a possibility to get a check at the end of it. You will let them demean your character as long as there's a check. You'll let them say and do anything. It's the most abusive relationship I've ever seen in my entire life. Listen to me, you can't expect him to do better. He dumb. You can't expect him to do better. That's not what they do in his neighborhood. No. Get married, get an education, find a good girl, get married, get a good job. That's not in them. That's not who they are. No, absolutely not. You can't expect that from them. No, there's a way, because that's a white thing. And they don't want to be white. That's what you're going to hear. I hear it every day. I've got this audio piece. I'm wondering if I can play it. Maybe I'll wait until the break. I want to listen to it first. I'm hoping there's no cursing in it. But I gotta play it for you. You can listen. I'm telling you, there's an exchange between a white liberal woman and a black conservative woman. And the two of them are having a little back and forth. And this white woman is standing there looking at the black woman, telling her to her face, no, ma'am. No, we can't expect black people to get this and that. No, that just isn't fair. They can't do that. That's not who they are. And the black people are in the West End saying, do you not see us right here? Where are you getting this from? Black person right here. Yeah. I mean, not like you. You're different. You know, you're educated and smart. And nobody gets mad. No one gets mad. And I keep asking myself, it's like, when are y'all going to get mad? When are you going to get mad? You're going to say, dude, stop making fun of me. Stop diminishing my character. But no, I mean, I talk to these people all day, every day. And I'm talking about people in the black community. And you'll bring this up, and then someone's like, well, that's not true. Yeah, okay. I'm going to find this audio. I'm going to find it for you. I got to find it. Anyway, when we come back, I got to play this audio from, sorry, that's not it. What is this piece that I have here? I totally forgot what it was. I'll get to it in a second. I'll also preview the Larissa Dolly thing tomorrow, who she is and why she's coming on the show tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. And this, NBC News. I didn't get into that. I'm going to get into the details of that NBC News firing that's happening with all of these all these sub-organizations of NBC News and why they're cutting the department. It has so much to do with the amount of money they're losing on them, but the fact that nobody's actually, they're not even checking out these websites or any of these sort of businesses that NBC has created. We'll talk about that and much more. Plus, we'll talk about the town hall that happened on CNN with Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders as well. We'll talk about some of that stuff in a minute. Let's go to Ben in Rocky Hill. How are you, Ben?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm all right. What's up?
I just wanted to know if you listen to yourself talk.
What do you mean?
Well, man, I tuned in. I don't usually listen to your show.
Okay.
And you're getting real angry about Ketanji Brown Jackson. And I can't see what you're so scared of.
Wow, there's talk about some assumptions here. So let's start off by saying that anger never, ever conveys itself with laughter, because I was laughing my behind off. What are you talking about?
Oh, I was talking about the way you were raising your voice. It sounded like you were, I don't know, jumping around, shouting about how they want to be treated special, but we can't do that.
Sir, you said that you've never listened to my show before.
No, I haven't.
So you don't know.
It sounds like a bunch of racist drivel, and I'm hoping it's.
Why am I? Wait. I'm racist against whom?
No. I'm not saying you're racist. You can say racist things without being racist.
Okay, so what did I say that was racist?
You're repeating a lot of talking points, talking about how, like, all of these notions of reparations are bogus. And I'm not sure if you know that you're just kind of parroting the same lines that.
Okay, hold on, Ben.
Really shitty people are saying.
Ben,
yeah.
Can I hold you over for a couple of minutes?
And no guarantee I'll be here when you get back, but I'll try.
Well, Ben, come on, this is important. I think you need to learn something about me that you may not have known. Can you hold on?
What's that?
No, I'll tell you in a second. Stand by. Let's get a check of weather and traffic. And let's give Ben the surprise of his life when we return. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, good afternoon. Well, if you're heading toward Hartford right now, you're on the southbound side of I-91. Look for slow traffic from exit 36 to 35, again, 33 down to 32A and B. And you're going to see more slow traffic as you move from exit 27 down to exit 28. Northbound 91, you got some slow traffic now as you move up by exit 21, and again 24 up to 25, 26 in Weathersfield. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound got delays about a half mile before 46 Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound again slowing by exit 32 in Berlin. 84 westbound in Farmington, delays from exit 37 Finneman Road out to 35 and the 72 interchange. Heading into Waterbury, westbound 84, you're tied up from 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing 18 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway delays 51 southbound into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by the CT Insider. Explore more at ctinsider.com.
There's more to Connecticut with CT Insider, a hometown behind every headline. With every issue, investigation, or interview, there's more when you're following from the inside. Visit ctinsider.com for more.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with lots of sunshine. Highs will be ranging from 57 to 60 degrees, and clear skies will linger for tonight. We'll head down to a low of 40. High pressure remains overhead into tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies and pleasant conditions. We'll head up to a high of 64, then clear and chilly tomorrow night. So we head down to a low of 37. The start of the weekend looks great. Mostly sunny for Saturday with a high of 63. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The investigation continues into a crash this morning that left 2 people dead in Prospect. The 3-vehicle crash occurred on Route 69 and Talmadge Hill Road near the Bethany town line. Names of the victims have not been released, and other information has not been released yet as well. In East Hartford, police there say a woman was struck and killed by a vehicle this morning. Crash occurred at the Silver Lane Forbes Street intersection just after 5 a.m. Police say the driver did stay at the scene and is cooperating with that investigation. Bridgeport police have arrested a 28-year-old man and charged him with the sexual assault of a teenage girl walking to school. Cordero Javier Greaves faces a host of charges in connection with that Tuesday attack. Shelton police are charging a 17-year-old from Norwalk in a street takeover in their city last month. Jason Barrios is charged. He faces reckless driving and other offenses in that September 14th incident that left a 14-year-old with serious injuries. President Trump has announced plans to meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. That meeting set to take place in Budapest, Hungary, although a date has yet to have been set. Trump's said on social media that he talked to Putin by phone today and said they made significant progress. Senate Democrats rejecting for a 10th time that stopgap spending bill that would reopen the government. They're insisting they won't back away from demands that Congress take up health care benefits. Wall Street, the Dow down 301 points today. The NASDAQ shed 107. S&P was down 41. NHL tonight, Bruins skate in Vegas. The Rangers are in Toronto, and the Isles host Edmonton. Thursday night football, it's the Steelers at Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Kurt.
You're supposed to be on fire as a person. You're supposed to want to get things done. I started having anxiety out of the blue, low libido, brain fog, not feeling driven. Literally had to push myself every day to get up and get things done. I was driving and I heard Northeast Men's Health on the radio, and the first consult seemed reasonable. So I decided to give it a call and made an appointment. They found that I had low T, and after that it was like a light switch got turned on. I've been a patient at Northeast Men's Health for about 9 months now. Everything's gotten a lot better in my life. Energy, feeling, just work, a whole lot better. Even my kids notice. They're like, Daddy's got energy, Daddy's ready to go. If you don't feel like that, I would suggest calling Northeast Men's Health.
Thanks, Kurt. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life.
How much time we got?
Your initial appointment is only $99.
1 minute.
Okay, good.
And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, you're Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to Leaf Filter Deal for your free gutter
you, sir.
inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. Leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, Roland, Ben can hear me even though he's on hold, right?
Correct.
He can hear me. Okay, so Ben, before I pick up the phone, I just want to say something to you real quick. Okay, so the show's called Reese on the Radio. It's on from 2 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday right here on WTIC News Talk 1080, the 50,000-watt behemoth. Sir, I'm 56 years old, 2 months and 2 days. I was born and raised in Hollis, Queens. I went to Andrew Jackson High School. My mother was a single parent with 5 kids. She had a couple of husbands here and there, and I have always, for my entire time, been a black man on welfare as a child and was homeless for 3 years, always living in the hood. So if there's anybody who's an authority on reparations, an authority on the slavery of my ancestors because of my grandfather who lived through the Jim Crow era and his grandfather who lived through slavery, I think that I have the authority to talk about what goes on in the black community. I am no racist, sir. I'm a truth teller. Now I'll give you an opportunity to speak. You have 2 minutes, Ben. Hi, Ben.
Oh, that was your gotcha, man? Oh, come on. I was expecting more.
No, Ben. I just want to say, you thought that there was some white man on the air talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson who was being a bigot.
No,
but of course,
I know.
You know I'm black?
I know you're black.
You know I'm black.
Yeah.
So tell me why it is that you think that what I said was racial.
Whether you're black or not doesn't mean you can't.
Sir, in order for it to be racial, I can't be the same race as the person I'm talking about.
Oh, so I can't be homophobic because I'm gay?
No, sir, that's not what I said. That's different. See, I'll tell you. In fact, you can't. How about this one? I'll answer it differently. You can't be homophobic if you're gay. Hold on. You can't be homophobic if you're gay because to be homophobic means that I'll explain, means that you have a fear of the thing that you are.
Okay, so you're telling me that I can't be homophobic.
Because are you afraid of being, are you afraid of homosexuals?
Ooh, now we're splitting hairs about
No, sir, that's what phobia means. That's phobic, an irrational fear.
Yeah,
Do you have an irrational fear of homosexuals even though you are one? That means you are afraid of yourself.
Yeah, for many years I was actually. It was very hard.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So what's your problem with what I said about Ketanji Brown Jackson? Are you going to tell me, Ben? Ben, are you trying to tell me that Ketanji Brown Jackson is brilliant? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That she's smart?
Why do you just make up straw man?
You didn't answer my question. Is she smart?
Yeah, you haven't answered one of mine either.
Yeah, I'm in the host here. Is she smart, sir? You're the one defending her.
Right. Mr. Big Powerful Host Man, I apologize so greatly for insulting you.
I love this guy.
My deepest condolences, sir.
No, it's okay. Listen, you didn't answer my question. Is Ketanji Brown Jackson smart? Is she brilliant?
She's smart, yeah. She's a Supreme Court
Tell me
justice.
why.
I would argue anybody who can make it all the way through law school and become a Supreme Court justice is, at least a little bit smart. I don't have to like them as a person.
Oh, so we can assume they're smart. We don't have to show any evidence. So she got through law school. That means that she's smart.
Is that not evidence? That she
No, sir. No, it is not. That's not how we work evidence here. If you were in a court of law, do you think that you could just present her degree and that would be the end of it?
No, but I think I couldn't practice law without a degree. So what evidence?
Great argument, but I don't think that'll fly here. But you know what, Ben? It's okay. I want more of you because I'm not homophobic. Stay on the line. We'll be back with Ben in a little bit, and we'll find out more intriguing things about his homophobia of himself. He must be afraid of his own shadow, too, when we return. Here's Mark Christopher. He's at the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, don't scare anybody.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm afraid of my shadow. I have a pretty big shadow. You see my shadow in an alleyway, man, you're going to be a little intimidated, let me tell you. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now on the southbound side of I-91, you're going to see delays now from exit 36 down to 35, and again 33 down to 32 A and B. Back in the stop and go again, 27 down to 28. And some more slow traffic as you move 23 down to 22 in Cromwell. Northbound side of 91 slowing 24 up to 25, 26 for the Putnam Bridge. 84 westbound, you're tied up 56 Governor Street to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing 46 into the tunnel. 2 westbound is tight 1D up to the 84 west merge. Also 2 westbound slowing in Glastonbury from 6 to 4A. 291 eastbound is slowing I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Again, 9 northbound slowing by exit 32 in Berlin. 84 westbound in Farmington delays 37 up to 33. And the 72 interchange. 84 eastbound into Waterbury slowing by exit 18. And westbound 84 sluggish stop and go approaching 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. This traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center. Stuck in traffic again? Don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast, often in just one day. Open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now. Columbia Implant Center, ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon. There will be lots of sunshine as well, with highs ranging from 57 to 60. The clear skies will stick around through tonight. We head down to a low of 40, then high pressure remains overhead into tomorrow. That sets us up with another nice day. Mostly sunny skies with a high of 64, then clear and rather chilly tomorrow night, low 37. The weekend's looking great at this point. Saturday turning out mostly sunny with a high of 63. We'll see a little more in the way of clouds on Sunday, partly sunny, breezy, and pleasant, with the high Sunday up to 69. Right now it's 56 in Farmington, 58 degrees in Windsor, and 57 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claim process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you.
No, women
people
like
who
me.
value speaking to the right people at the right time. That's why we answer the phone ourselves, to understand you and help you invest for the life you want, because you've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a human connection. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hennion & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm in
1 minute.
Chuck, if someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Oh, man, like, sometimes when you have stuff planned, things, orders don't go your way. I told you, folks, it's a seat of your pants kind of Thursday on Negro Nonsense. So Ben is here. And Ben, I got to give it to you, man. If I may, I'm going to applaud you, man. I love you for sticking it out.
I mean, honestly, I'm always intrigued by someone who doesn't have the same opinions I do, because frankly, the way I see the world makes sense to me, and the way you see the world makes sense to you, and I want to figure out how we diverged so much.
Well, yes, but you seem to have, how am I going to put this kindly? You seem to be desirous of promoting Ketanji Brown Jackson in this case as a brilliant person. And I almost, and I almost feel like it's primarily because she's black, which for me immediately disqualifies your praise. And let me explain why. Okay? It's not enough as a black man. I'm just telling you from where I stand. It ain't enough for me as a black person to just go all out praising somebody, and the first problem that everybody sees is the black thing. Or the first thing that they wish to praise is that she's a black person who did such and such and such. If you're a person who is brilliant in what you do, those things should be seen around the corner before they ever see your face. And I've tried to explain this to a lot of people who are critical of me. They say, well, Reese, you're here because you're black. Or Reese, you've done this because you're black. And I'm going, that's funny, because most of the people who talk about me, who have ever said anything about me, never mention my race. They go, God, you got to hear this guy because of this, that, and the third. I've always said something that completely supersedes what I am as far as my color is concerned. I find myself interesting beyond the scope of color, because that's the least interesting. No, don't be proud of me. It's the least interesting thing about me. It is. And when I say least, it's the least, like bottom of the barrel interesting about me. So when I see Ketanji Brown Jackson and people are only talking about her race at the start when I'm first introduced to her, I know that beyond that surface level, she's garbage. Everything about her is garbage. And then she makes this ridiculous argument that I've been talking about for 20 years. The idea that there are people who see blacks as disabled, which is the ridiculousness that a lot of these race baiters keep trying to push the rest of us. They've run out of ideas. We're descendants of slaves. We have generational trauma. Now we're disabled. And it offends me. And the fact that people won't stand up and say, stop disrespecting black men and women in this way, suggesting that they don't have agency or control of their own destiny, I've had enough. So to then say that I'm being racial because I wish to prop up black people as saying they're just as good as anybody else baffles me. So now explain yourself.
All right, okay, a couple points on what you said so far. I'm not saying Ketanji Brown Jackson is great. This is actually one of my most fundamental issues with most of what you say on your show, from what I've heard, is you create straw man arguments. You say that I'm trying to promote Ketanji Brown Jackson as amazing. That's not what I'm actually trying to do. I'm wondering why you have such a problem with her. And you say it's because you want people to believe that black people are not.
Because I'll answer your question. Let me answer it and I'll let you finish. What my problem is with Ketanji Brown Jackson is, no, I'm going to let you finish. I'm just going to answer the question you asked or you posed. The problem I have with Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Can I just real quick?
No.
If you get to say three things.
I'll just answer the question. She diminishes black people and thinks it's helping. That's my problem with her. Now go ahead.
Okay, so you say that Ketanji Brown Jackson diminishes black people. So let's not make this about her, because frankly, I'm not qualified to talk about her. But let me just ask you, why do you think reparations are a bad idea?
Okay, I'll tell you an old story I like to tell. Al Sharpton and Thomas Sowell are at Sylvia's having dinner, and they're talking about their grandfathers. And Al Sharpton says to Thomas Sowell, hey, do you know that my grandfather and your grandfather used to sell drugs right here in Harlem? And they go, yeah. And he goes, well, before they died, your grandfather owed my grandfather $100. Would it be proper for Al Sharpton to ask Thomas Sowell for that $100?
Oh, so that's actually an interesting legal idea if the children can be forced to inherit the debts of their parents.
Correct.
And while some societies would say, yeah, that's okay, in general, it seems that we're mostly against that these days because you can do some truly horrible things to people that way.
Mm-hmm.
But what does this have to do with reparations?
I'll tell you. If we're going...
No, not in the metaphorical. What does this have to do with the actual...
I'll tell you.
I'll
be happy to tell you. So reparations would be like a class action lawsuit. Would that be fair to suggest?
Sure.
Okay, so a class action lawsuit, let's use class action lawsuits. My favorite one to mention is mesothelioma. Right? And if you've ever seen any...
a loved one.
No, what? Yeah, if you were a loved one, you know that, right? Exactly. Exactly. So you know that. So technically, let's use slavery like you would mesothelioma. Generally, you would have to prove that you were directly affected by slavery in order for you to receive reparations. Like if you were in California and your family has lived there all their life, you couldn't find reparations in that state because that state didn't own any slaves or have any slavery. How would you possibly find individuals for slavery in a state that never had any?
But we have like genetic testing and stuff. Like I can trace my ancestry back to fucking a blob of land on a steppe somewhere. Like we have the technology to do this.
And what if that geneticism?
Hold on. If your problem with reparations is that, oh no, we might give people some money who don't need it, is that really so bad?
Are you certain?
Is it so bad if you get an extra $1,000?
Actually, well, you're talking about an extra $1,000, but I'll go one step further. Okay. Let's say you were to do a genetic breakdown for each individual. Okay. And let's say, we do it in a 23andMe sort of way. And we find out that the person who is dark-skinned only has 50% African-American traits. And the person who was the slaveholder no longer exists in the country. How does that person collect? Like the slave owner's family is completely deceased. There is no lineage to speak of. How does that individual get paid back? Who pays?
So the idea of reparations isn't that it's the direct families of the slave owners who contribute. In general, it's us accepting collective responsibility.
I love it.
Yeah, you're loving it, I know, because you're about to bring up the monster in the room that we all love to hate, taxes.
No, actually, I wasn't.
Why should you pay for someone else's reparations?
Sir, I need you. Look, this is the part that I always tell people that they paint themselves into a corner. I'm really, really good at this.
Okay.
I'm really good at this.
So let's say, I really hope so with how much you do this.
Let's say that there are 50% of Americans, white Americans in the country who believe that reparations are fair.
Okay.
Let's say there is. Let's go one step further. Let's say you have 50% of all white Americans who say, yes, we should return reparations to those who were aggrieved during slavery in this country. I've only got one answer for you. Pay them then. You 52% who believe that reparations should be paid, dig deep in your pockets and pay collectively. All 52% of you. Yeah. Well, no, don't wait for the government. Don't wait for the government. Don't wait for anybody else. I'm sorry?
How is 52% of the country supposed to collectively mobilize without the government?
Dig deep in your pocket. Create a fund. You don't need the government to do that.
Not getting the money. Organizing.
Oh, organizing?
It's supposed to be the vehicle to organize this. And then the money comes from the taxes. That's how that works.
Oh, no. See, that's different. Because now taxes means that everybody, even the 48% who are opposed to it, get to pay. But I believe it is individual freedom. 48% should say, I don't think that they deserve reparations, and I'm not giving them a dime, which is exactly the reason why we've never been able to pass legislation to do it. Because nobody would ever hang their hat on the idea that people who are not responsible for slavery would pay a group of people who did not in any way feel any of the trauma or deal with any of the effects of slavery.
Okay. So this is actually very similar to something I think we should do, which is we should get to pick where our taxes go. For example, I don't want to give a dime to the Department of Defense. I don't give a shit what they're calling it now. I don't want my money to go to killing Palestinian children. I should be allowed to do that, but I'm not. I have to pay for the wars that we're fighting overseas. I have to pay for the welfare of people who are working for Walmart in Alabama. I already have to pay for things that I don't want my money going to. So why is this any different?
Okay, fine. You know what? You're absolutely right. So who now gets to determine that reparations gets added on to those taxes? Who's deciding that now?
Who's deciding the taxes?
Yeah. In other words, so taxes are generally like there's a coalition of people in essence who say that this is a tax. A perfect example of that is how did Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act come to be? You had John Roberts, by the way, Barack Obama saying that it wasn't a tax, but in order to get it across the finish line, John Roberts, Supreme Court Justice, turns it into a tax, which in essence gives license to the government to be able to collect it, right? So that's how it passes the finish line. So my question to you is this: on the reparations deal, who gets to decide that this is now an added tax to the citizen? Who makes that decision?
Well, in a perfect world, we the people.
Thank you.
In actuality, and also here's the thing: like this is a democracy. The idea is a 50.
We're a republic, sir. We're a constitutional republic, sir.
Arguably, in my lifetime, because of Citizens United, we're just a plutocracy. Let's not pretend.
Okay, I'm not pretending. I'm just calling it what it is. But okay, you're saying that it should be left to the citizens. Are you suggesting that we should be able to vote on it?
Putting reparations up to a vote?
Yes, sir.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so that's all I'm asking. My question is that there have been several Democrat majorities with Democrat presidents, from Barack Obama, the first half-black, Joe Biden, who got 81 million votes in 2020, and it's never been addressed. It's talked about during the race, but never implemented during. Why not? And again, you guys appear to be the most, the most progressive and.
Whoa, you guys?
Well, you sound
Look,
like
you
it.
can call me gay, but don't call me Democrat, man. Jesus, no.
My apologies.
You seem to be under the conception that I also like the Democrats. They're all so bad. I don't like them either. But that's the thing, is like you and me having this conversation. Look, I don't care what party you're affiliated with, but the fact that it's split along, I have to either go along with fucking.
Okay,
this,
we got.
Okay,
you're on the radio. It's not.
Stop. Yeah, I'll stop. I'll save your show from the censors. But no, look, I think the Democrats haven't done shit about it because it's much more profitable for them to just pretend, make campaign promises, and then not deliver. They're politicians, same as the rest of them.
Yeah,
but
but
reparations shouldn't be said. We shouldn't be like, yeah, reparations are bad because the Democrats won't do them.
Reparations are bad because it pays people for things they didn't endure. That's the reason why they're bad. And it's that simple. Reparations.
Why is that bad?
Because I'll tell you why. Because I did not pick one bit of cotton. I was born in 1969, not in 1869. And I cannot in any way ask someone who wasn't born during that time, because they're not alive today, to pay for something they did not benefit from. And just because I think it's a moral issue that they should be responsible for, in essence, that they should feel guilty about it in some way, even though they're not culpable, is unfair. It's unreasonable. It's not even unfair. It's just unreasonable for me to expect anybody else to pay out of their pocket for me to get something for a benefit that I never, in essence, not even that, a trauma or an experience I never had.
Okay. So, yeah, you didn't pick cotton, but didn't you tell me at the beginning of this how you grew up in the hood?
Because of my mother's poor choices.
Okay, but the existence of hoods in general, you do understand how that came about?
Yes, because of people like my mother's poor choices. My grandfather owned a home. My mother, both of them out of the military. My grandmother was a registered nurse. She worked in Queens. Okay. They owned their own home for over 40 years. They were a very prominent a member of their community. My mother, on the other hand, was kind of a hipster who went out and partied during the flower child era of the 1960s. The late 60s, got pregnant, and again, made poor choices. She could have done the same thing that my grandmother, and they lived in worse times. So her choices are the reason why we lived in the hood.
But if we zoom out for a second, the hood didn't exist because of your mother's bad choices.
Yes, it did.
There before. The whole hood existed because of
yes,
your mother's
exactly, because of poor choices.
In America?
Yes, because of poor choices.
Every hood in America is
yes, because of poor choices. Yes.
Fascinating.
It's
so
called it's
okay,
not made up. It's not, listen, Ben, and I love chatting with you. You can call up anytime. but it's not made up. People make choices. Human beings
Yes.
Human beings are responsible. But I love talking to you. I got to go. We'll talk to Ben another time. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're 91 southbound, look for some slow traffic now as you move down by exit 35 in Windsor. Again, slowing 33 down to 32 A and B. And more slow traffic as you move 27 down to 28 on the Hartford-Wethersfield line. Now, south of downtown, you'll slow again 23 down to 22 in the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. Look out for a disabled vehicle 91 northbound just prior to exit 24 in Rocky Hill, left shoulder. State Police working with that. After that, you got a good ride into Hartford and some slow traffic again, 35 to 36 in Windsor. Now, if you're traveling on the westbound side of 84, look for slow traffic approaching the Bulky Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound locked up about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound tied up from 1D up to the 84 west merge. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. And we have an accident northbound 91 between exits 6 and 8 in New Haven. The left and left center lanes are blocked there. Stay to the right. Delays are back to I-95 behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8th.
Hey, were you able to get all of that?
WTIC
Jesus Christ, people get so comfortable on the mic.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be
Probably got one slipped out because it takes
a couple of seconds,
like 2 minutes once you hit the buttons for it to reload again. And he did 2 of them in the span of like 30 seconds.
What was I going to say? Oh, is that last person? Did I say Carlene or Charlene?
Great Saturday, mostly sunny with a high.
Carlene.
Carlene, okay. To warm up as we head into Sunday. Turning out partly sunny, breezy, another nice day with a high Sunday up to 69. We do have a storm moving into the area Sunday night. That is going to bring some rain to the region. Then as we head into Monday, mostly cloudy. There will be a bit of rain around mainly early in the day with high Monday up to 65. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Another of President Trump's political adversaries has been indicted.
CBS News special report. He's a former ambassador and President Trump's one-time national security advisor. Now, John Bolton has been indicted in Maryland as part of an investigation into the mishandling of classified information. CBS's Scott McFarland reports the indictment is sealed, but sources have told him Bolton is indeed the person indicted by Maryland's top national security prosecutor. President Trump has pushed for his indictment. This was his reaction moments ago.
I didn't know that. You told me for the first time, but I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. It's too bad, but it's the way it goes.
Our Scott McFarland on the search and seizure done at Bolton's home earlier this year.
Among the things agents secured during those searches were electronic devices, and that it's an investigation into the potential mishandling and misappropriation or unlawful possession of classified records.
CBS News special report. I'm Peter King.
Yeah, the president also had a warning for Hamas today. Linda Kenyon has that.
Posting on social media, President Trump wrote, if fighting continues among factions of Hamas, quote, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. The president did not elaborate on how that might happen. The comments come as Hamas has yet to turn over all of the bodies of the Israeli hostages. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt reiterated this is no easy task.
These bodies, unfortunately, are very deep underground, and so it's going to take some time and some special equipment to actually retrieve these bodies and bring them back to Israel.
Adding the administration is fully committed to seeing this through.
Police in Bridgeport have arrested a man in connection with a sexual assault of a teenage girl who was walking to school on Tuesday. Under arrest is 28-year-old Cordero Javier Greaves. Detectives say the victim was walking in the area of Railroad Avenue at the time of the attack. He was arrested at his home a short time after the incident. Ashley Mercado says she walks her daughter to school nearby.
It's kind of nerve-wracking because you never know who's thinking of what can happen with your kid just leaving out for the morning and going to school, especially that, she leaves early. I'm not too sure how the little girl is feeling, but I can honestly say that I know a lot has been taken away from her, and that's sad.
Audio from WFSB. The suspect faces a host of charges, including sexual assault, risk of injury, and other offenses. Bond set at $750,000. Investigations continuing into a carjacking in Wethersfield late Wednesday night. According to police there, a woman was forcibly removed from her vehicle in a supermarket parking lot around 10 p.m. on the Berlin Turnpike. The suspect took off in the Buick LaCrosse, last seen on Jordan Lane, headed toward Maple Ave in Hartford. No weapons were used, and the victim didn't have any visible injuries, but was checked out by ambulance personnel at the scene. Officers say their suspect is an adult Hispanic male, about 5'10", wearing camouflage pants and a beige hoodie. The vehicle had a Connecticut license plate number of BN00701. Generation Power CT, formerly known as Operation Fuel, is gearing up for a winter enrollment with an event in downtown Hartford. The CEO, Perkins Simpson, will be talking about Connecticut residents' struggle to pay energy bills and sustainable solutions.
So they share their difficulties. They share the needs. If it's a medical need where the electricity needs to stay on, if it's a job loss, if it's medical hardship, they are very open and we're very empathetic to what individuals go through.
Last year, Generation Power gave $2.8 million in energy assistance to 6,000 households. The event, entitled Power and Purpose, will be held Friday afternoon at the Hartford Marriott downtown. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts, and exclusions. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, everybody, whoever's on the phone, just stand by there. I will get to you, I promise you, especially Carlene calling for Roxbury. I'm surprised that somebody's calling in for Roxbury. That's New Edition neighborhood. I got to talk to to Carlene on the phone. Let's get to it. It's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz and all the glamour. It's Hollywood News. In today's edition of Hollywood News, folks, I saw this story because Hollywood is running out of ideas. And in order to do that, they've got to go into a whole bunch of different directions in order to get butts into seats. So lately, they have been running into the idea of grabbing Saturday morning cartoons and coming up with movies. You know, like Masters of the Universe, the He-Man movie. You know, they're already doing Sonic the Hedgehog, which used to be a Saturday morning cartoon, as well as a video game. Well, they've decided to go another route. And I want to see whether or not you folks remember this sound. I know you remember that, Roland.
Yeah, the Jetsons.
That's right. That's right, folks. Hollywood has decided that they are going to do a live-action movie of the Jetsons, the original 1962 series that ran until 63. It returned again in the 1980s for 2 seasons and got an animated film in 1990. Now, they're going to do another movie, a live-action version of it, and you will bug out because they've decided that the person who is going to play the lead character, George Jetson, is none other than this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me if you're feeling it. George Jetson, played by Jim Carrey. What do you think, Roland? What do you think? Jim Carrey as George Jetson. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center. What do you think, Mark? What do you think? Do you think that's a good choice? I would definitely see it.
Rosie.
I would definitely see it just for that. Everybody is in the chat room going, no.
This will relate to the traffic report.
What do you have those sound effects sitting on your...
There's George flying to Spacely Sprockets. Oh, and I think that caller's from Roxbury, Connecticut, which is up in the northwestern part of the state.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think it's in...
is it Roxbury, Connecticut, not Roxbury, Massachusetts?
Yeah, I think it's Roxbury,
okay.
Connecticut.
All right.
I think. I could be wrong.
We'll find out.
All right. This traffic report is being brought to you by Amplify CT. And if you're making your way into Hartford on the southbound side of I-91, you're going to see some slow traffic from exit 33 down to 27 down to 20.
What do you think?
I don't see Jim Carrey as.
What
Three.
I mean, I know he probably kill a role, but he's.
4 for the stylist.
George Jetson was a lot more serious.
Yeah, exactly. I see a sort of very
Westbound side of
reserved
84 is
character.
tied
You know
up
who I would
as
pick
you
for
approach
him?
the Boakty Bridge.
Maybe
Out to
he's a
exit
little
45
older now,
Flatbush,
but
84 eastbound
William
slowing,
H.
44
Macy
Prospect
would
Oakwood,
probably
down
fit.
into
He's
the
got
tunnel.
the
2
same
westbound delays.
sort
1D
of,
up to the 84 West Merge.
what do you call it?
2 eastbound slowing as you move up
wrinkles.
on exit
The
3.
same
Heading into
facial
Middletown,
look.
both sides of 9 heavy at the.
And who's that again?
William H. Macy? Oh, God.
So the Mixmaster 84.
I'm trying to think of a film that you would know him
17
from.
up to
He's
the
kind of
Mixmaster
he's a
in
character actor.
Waterbury.
You have to look him up to see
Mental
his face.
health struggles, substance misuse, feeling of hopelessness. No one should face them alone. If you or someone you know needs support, call or text 988 today to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Together we can.
Oh, Fargo.
Yes. Okay, Fargo. Yeah, I don't know you would know that one.
WTIC.
I didn't think that was a movie you'd have seen.
WTIC weather.
It'll be sunny.
Of course, I seen that movie.
I don't know.
Highs ranging from 50.
Chopped the dude up in the thing at the end.
Yeah,
and the salt and the wood chipper.
Yeah.
40, mostly sunny.
And then all of this. Did you watch any of the series on HBO?
No. I heard Chris Rock did a season.
He did the last. He did the last season,
Yeah.
and it was every last series was fire.
Oh, really?
Fire, and they were all based on true events.
Oh.
Will turn out partly sunny as we head into Sunday. Breezy and pleasant with a high Sunday up to 69. Right now it's 55 in East Hartford, 52 degrees in Hebron, 57 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
Never liked braces.
I'm not like Mark Christopher. I've seen tons of TV series, movies, shows, all of that.
Your dream smile discreetly and easily. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645.
And I grew up with my grandparents, so I watched Matlock, Murder, She Wrote, In the Heat of the Night, yeah. Perry Mason.
I never watched one episode of The Heat of the Night. Never one.
It's kind of like what Law and Order is now. It's not the same exact,
It is
but
procedural, right? Just like all the procedurals.
At McDonald's.
Yeah.
So when you've spent too much on a night out, get deals on the afterpie. When you've got date night, get deals on favorites that'll make you their favorite. And when you've got family for the weekend, we've got breakfast.
It only takes $5 to find.
Man, what's that?
Shameless. Everybody said I should start watching Shameless.
I watched the first. I watched the first 3 seasons, but it gets a little crazy, so I was like, "Hey, I'm done with this."
Hundreds of well water problems a year. We believe hearing your options to get water flowing in your house shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free estimates for wells with no water. Plus, get your water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted well professionals at ALO Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P1027.
I'm not a racist, Matt.
S10413487, D10401465, S33086999, SN3004646, E1185643.
Are you
online threats? Then get an antivirus.
Maddie says that
It's the
I
only
didn't think you
online
watched
protection you'll
Fargo
ever
because
need.
I'm a racist. I'm just going, it's Fargo, North Dakota. I don't know that you would watch that movie.
From snoopers or encrypt your traffic.
Man, I watched anything that was good with great actors and actresses in it.
All right.
VPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Save 77% on NordVPN.
I love that movie.
Really?
I'm Ed Evans.
Yeah, just because of the song.
Big Wireless wants you on unlimited plan. They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings.
I was a kid when it came out, so.
Yeah, I hear that.
Only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5.
Here we go.
Thank you.
See site for additional facts.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and that's the reason why you should go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com or just joining us on Facebook or X so you can listen to the commentary that goes on in the background. Let's get to the phones real quick. Of course, the phone's lit up after my conversation with Ben. Carlene is calling from Roxbury. From now I'm being told Roxbury in Connecticut. Is that correct, Carlene?
That is correct.
Okay.
It is in Connecticut.
I was really, really hopeful that somebody all the way up in Boston was calling. I love Boston, so my apologies.
Sorry to disappoint.
That's okay. That's not on you. How are you today?
I'm doing terrific. My husband and I love your show, and we're
Thank
so
you.
happy you're in Connecticut.
Thank you. What's going on with you?
Well, your subject on reparations really got my juices flowing today.
Okay.
There are other groups that have faced discrimination in this country. I'm half Italian American, and my great grandfather came over from Naples illegally through Ellis Island. And at that time, the Irish controlled the docks. And the discrimination against the Italians was terrible. And he was beaten and left for dead. And my mother's family had no love for the Irish. And it wasn't only, the situation with my great-grandfather, but in large part because of the Irish. The Italians had to live in the Italian ghetto. So they were limited in terms of where they could live. They were limited in terms of their education. And I grew up hearing these stories from my grandmother and her relatives. So
And listening-
if we're going to talk the reparation route.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting if somebody is listening to your story, right? And as they always ask us to do, right? They always ask us to be open-minded. And as you just described with your grandfather, you said, right? If I got that right, your grandfather?
Well, my great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather, I apologize. Great-grandfather. I listened to that story, and then I remember that scene in A Time to Kill when Matthew McConaughey is talking about how the girl is thrown over the bridge and she's abused and all that stuff. And at the end, he says, now imagine she was black. And that's a great line because I'm listening to your story and I'm going, eliminate the race and just listen to you tell that story, Carlene, about your great-grandfather, about him only being allowed to live in certain areas. And black folks will tell you redlining. Talk about the jobs that they were able to have and not have. They would say the same thing. And they almost literally, not one thing is dissimilar, right? It's like the same story. The only thing that they would say different in the case, it was just like, they would say, slavery, what about the beating or, the indentured servitude? You know what? No, absolutely no argument there. But your great-grandfather who got here from Ellis Island, at that particular time, there is no slavery. At that particular time, African Americans are flourishing in places. And this is the part that people forget, and they don't know this. When your great-grandfather came here through Ellis Island, there was Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there was Jackson, Mississippi. And in fact, I'm learning now, countless areas of black productivity and business ownership was flourishing through the likes and the tutelage of a guy named Booker T. Washington. We're prominent. And Harlem, the Renaissance, the black Renaissance era of Harlem in New York City, where your grandfather had to live in Italian ghettos. African Americans were living.
Well, actually, they were in Brooklyn.
Yeah, okay, in Brooklyn, yeah.
Area?
Yes.
That's the area that they were.
And that's the reason why, if you look at places like Bensonhurst and all of those areas, why those are still predominantly Italian, is because those are the outskirts in which they had to live. Now, sure enough, just like every other group of people, the area that you're forced to live in, you make work, right? You turn it into a flourishing, utopia, for lack of a better word. People open up restaurants where they serve the people who come to the restaurant. They also employ the people who are there who can't get jobs in other places. They made things work. But that's the part that people are forgetting. it didn't just happen for Italians. It didn't just happen for Irish. It also happened for African Americans in Harlem because they own businesses up there as well. And I would implore anyone to go pick up what is it? 100 Years of Harlem from Time Magazine, which goes through 100 years from, I think, 1901 till 100 years. And that shows what Harlem used to look like when the Black Renaissance was there, and you wouldn't even know it, that place was what it was. You wouldn't even know it. So
You're absolutely right. And my great grandfather, he couldn't read or write, never learned English, but that man saved enough money to buy a brownstone in that Italian ghetto. It was a 3-family apartment.
that's incredible.
So yes, they made it work.
And the crazy part about it is, Carlene, his poverty and illiteracy still turned into sort of a growth from your family. In essence, for a guy who comes to the country, in essence, he's the patriarch of it, takes all of that lack of education, buys a home, and then turns out he can pass that on to every generation, which does better than him as the years go by.
Oh, his children and grandchildren had to be educated. They had to learn English. You spoke Italian in the home,
Right.
but you learned English.
Do you remember the days, Carlene, when they used to ask on the little forms, they used to ask, what language do you speak at home? Remember they used to ask that? I used to remember filling out a form saying, what language do you speak at home? And my other one was, I'll never forget it, one of these millennial kids. It says, what's your daytime phone number? And the kid looked at me and said, what the hell is that? I'm like, oh, Jesus, now I got to explain that to him. Those things that they wouldn't even know. But then again, it's kind of a par for the course. Carlene, thank you for sharing your story with us. I appreciate you calling in. I know that you're not a regular caller, but I'm glad that this piqued your interest today.
Thank you for taking the call, Reese.
You
Bye-bye.
got it. You got it. Let's go to Dave in Lynchfield. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Reese. You let that guy stay on a long time, and I know why, because he's entertaining, if nothing else.
Oh, yes.
He sure is. Even if he doesn't have critical thinking skills. First of all, we do have reparations for slavery. It's called welfare, and it's an unmitigated disaster. And it's also helping to keep the poor whites in Appalachia down too. But I remember, in high school, in my freshman English class, I think it was English Lit, we had to read Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, I was criticized as being historically inaccurate. I had two uncles who, it was a 2-family house they lived in. One uncle and his family lived on one side, and the other one lived on the other side. One uncle worked at the post office for 40 years. When he retired, he didn't talk about it, but I think he was a very wealthy man because he bought himself a new car every other year.
Mm-hmm.
In 1986, he bought himself a new SUV. He bought himself his new wife. He had just gotten married, a new car. And several years in a row, in the early 90s and the late 90s, he bought new cars and SUVs 3 years in a row. Every year, he bought himself a new vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't buy like Cadillacs or Lincolns. He bought like Honda, Toyota, Ford, Chevy, Dodge. And he hunted and fished. He spent time at his rod and gun club. He bought these not super expensive, but moderately high priced shotguns. He'd shoot trap.
Sure.
The other uncle fixed radio equipment. He was an electronic technician. Said there's no money in it. Well, actually, I'm looking at my amp. It's a little Mesa in my apartment here. Little single, it has vacuum tubes in it. All the amplifiers that are decent quality for electric guitars, the mid-price and higher end have vacuum tubes. They need to be replaced. They need to be repaired. If I had been taught what they knew, I could have been retired by now. I'm about your age. I'm a little younger than you.
Okay.
But instead, we were learning worthless garbage in our schools, like Ivanhoe. Nobody's ever going to look at your resume, but I read Ivanhoe. Nobody cares.
You know what? And again, I think that what you're talking about here is that rise of intellectualism that became so important to our area, to our society. There's a lot of complaints in the mid 90s that people weren't intellectual, and everyone had to be, and they were sort of marginalizing skilled work. They started actually, and I'm going to go back to the movies when I say it. I remember growing up and someone who was a janitor was kind of put upon as if it was a nothing job. And I remember talking to my first custodian or janitor for that matter, and him saying to me, and it was the greatest line he ever said, Dave. He says, "Nah, man, I don't want anybody to know how good this job is. Let them keep downing it. There won't be that many, and we can keep doing it. Because if everybody knows, everybody's going to want to do it." And I used to say, but wait a minute, if it's a flourishing career, people should know about it. He goes, "Nah, man, shut your mouth." He goes, we can't have everybody doing this.
You know what, though? I'm going to make this point before you go. We need reparations. And here's the reparations. We need to be taught financial literacy, because my uncle worked in the post office, worked crazy hours. If you ever watch Shark Tank, they tell you, Mark Cuban was telling one contestant, he says, "I'll give you the money. I'll invest in your idea, but you got to want it." I remember when I was building my empires, a young lady I was dating said, "Hey, we never spend any time together anymore, Mark. What's going on?" And I said to her, "I'm sorry, what was your name again?" So he worked crazy hours in the post office, and he just stashed his money.
Yeah.
And you got to buy assets. You got to, if you invest in mutual funds and you start when you're in your early 20s, by the time you're mid-60s, you'd be a multimillionaire. And nobody taught you that in school.
And that's because we have a need it now society that, there's not a lot of interest in saving. And, I'll tell a story about that. Dave, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Dave makes a very, very valid point. And I tell this story. I tell the story to a lot of my kids. And they've grown up knowing this story. And I think it's the reason why the boy doesn't like money all that much. There was this young girl named, I can't remember her name, but let's just call her Lydia for the sake of the story. She worked with me at Logistics Worldwide, this company I worked with in New York. She was a young Puerto Rican girl, lived on the Lower East Side. And she would come in, she was a receptionist, but she would come in every sort of week with something new on. She would have a shearling jacket that was like, $300-400. She would have these, these boots that had fur on them, and they're very, very expensive. Now, again, being the operations manager, I know how much this young girl made, and she's paying for her own school. She's not, she's not getting any grants or anything like that to go to school. So I know she's paying all of this money for all of this expensive stuff. And I looked at her and I said, Lydia, look, you live in the Lower East Side, you're spending a lot of money on this, fancy stuff. Don't you ever think about saving money just so, if you have the money, maybe you should put it into a bank account and save it for a rainy day? And she goes, "You don't understand why people in the hood buy the expensive stuff that they buy." And I go, "No, like why?" She goes, "Because we could die tomorrow. I could die tomorrow and I will never have it." And I was like, damn, what a way to look at it. What a way to look at your life, that you spend all of that money because you may not be here to celebrate it tomorrow. And then I grabbed my heart and I collapsed to the floor and I said, oh, I think I'm dying. I'm so glad I bought these boots. To which she got really, really upset and stopped talking to me for about a week. I'm sorry, but that's the way these kids look at the life. If you really want to understand it, and I think Dave makes a good point, think about some of these kids who live in the inner city. Think about some of these families who live in the inner city. It's not like they can't take the money that they do have, or even the money that they're receiving, and find a way to save a little, put a little nest egg on the side so they can get out of whatever situation that they're in. They can get off the dole and become self-sufficient. They could. It's possible if they just wait it out. You could be on welfare for 20 years and you save enough money, you don't ever have to worry about welfare ever again. But ask the reason why, and it's usually a very fatalist response. That I can die tomorrow. There's no hope for the future. A lot of reasons why these young kids are doing the things that they're doing every day. If you ask them why they behave so recklessly. I mean, you ever see these videos, these CCTV videos of the kids shooting each other in the middle of the street? Just wildly shooting? Like, you ever see that? You look at it, it's like, damn, that's reckless. Those of you who own guns, who fire guns, you look at the way these kids fire guns, like, who would do that? It just seems so ridiculous, like crazy stuff. Like, what hope do they have? Again, looking at it from that view of saying, nobody's promised tomorrow. Oh, it's just weird. I tell my wife every day when she's driving, slow down. I have a future. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark's got a future, darn it.
The Jetson sound effects. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays by 35. Again, 34 down to 32 A and B. More delays, 27 down to 28 in Hartford. You'll see another bump down by exit 23 West Street and Rocky Hill. Northbound side of 91, look out for an accident up by exit 24 in the left shoulder between 24 and 25-26. Westbound 84 is tied up now as you approach the Boaty Bridge out to 43 Park Road in West Hartford. 84 eastbound slowing about a mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound delays by exit 4A in Glastonbury. And again, 1D up to the 84 West merge. Heading into Middletown, 9 north and southbound heavy approaching the Aragoni. If you are traveling westbound 84 in Farmington, you've got delays from exit 37 down to 33 in the 72 interchange. 72 westbound itself is slowing, approaching exit 2 up to the 84 West merge on the Plainville-New Britain line. And if you're heading into Waterbury, westbound 84, you're running slow from the 691 interchange up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound delays from 18 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
This traffic report is being brought to you by Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods.
This week at Stu Leonard's, direct from Amish country, all natural, boneless chicken tenders, just $2.99 a pound. Save $2. Plus freshly pressed apple cider from our local orchards, only $3.99 a half gallon. See more savings at StuLeonards.com.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with lots of sunshine. Highs will be ranging from 57 to 60 degrees, and clear skies will linger for tonight. We'll head down to a low of 40. High pressure remains overhead into tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies and pleasant conditions. We'll head up to a high of 64, then clear and chilly tomorrow night. So we head down to a low of 37. The start of the weekend looks great. Mostly sunny for Saturday with a high of 63. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
55 degrees at 5.
Be right back.
I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Ex-Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton has been charged with illegally storing and transmitting classified information. Investigation came into public view back in August when the FBI searched Bolton's home in Maryland and his Washington office for classified records he may have illegally retained. Bolton's attorney says many of the documents seized were approved as part of a pre-publication review for his book. Investigation into a crash this morning in Prospect continues. Officers say the 3-vehicle crash occurred near Route 69 and Talmadge Hill Road just before 5:30 a.m. Crash took out a utility pole and sent others to the hospital. A woman is dead, and police in East Hartford are investigating after they say she was struck by a vehicle early this morning. That crash took place at Silver Lane and Forbes Street. Driver of the vehicle stayed on scene, police say, and is cooperating with that investigation. President Trump has announced plans to meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. That meeting is set to take place in Budapest, though a date has not yet been confirmed. Arrest has been made in the sexual assault of a teenage girl in Bridgeport who was attacked while walking to school Tuesday. Police say under arrest is Cordero Javier Greaves. Officers say the girl was assaulted on Railroad Avenue. He faces numerous charges and is being held on bond. Wethersfield police on the lookout for a suspected carjacker pulled a woman from her gray Buick LaCrosse from a supermarket parking lot on the Berlin Turnpike late Wednesday night. Victim was not hurt. Wall Street, the Dow lost 301 points today. The NASDAQ gave back 107 and the S&P was down 41. NHL action tonight. The Bruins skate in Vegas. The Rangers hit the road to Toronto, and the Isles host Edmonton. NFL tonight has the Steelers facing the Cincinnati Bengals. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about, is
It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
At California Psychics, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like everyone else has. Every movie has a love interest. Every song is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats or the joy of early bedtimes? And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at californiapsychics.com. Right now, customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
I still don't know what had happened was.
What had happened was earlier today, we put a APB, I guess that's all you can call it, an all points bulletin on Victor Velasquez, who appears to be the owner of 18, count them 18, Optimo car washes, 14 in the Connecticut area, one near you. And he has had some 15 people arrested by ICE. No one appears to be asking, where is Victor? And Victor, can you explain why you're hiring so many illegals at your establishments? 14 locations near you, I might add. How many more? Now, I understand that there was a press conference in New Haven today where people were out there cursing out ICE and all this other stuff, and nobody seemed to care. The same bozos who at the same time will twist their mouth to talk about how the rich and the wealthy business owners don't pay their fair share. And my man Victor Velasquez here with 14 locations, one near you, is skirting the law, hiring illegals, probably paying them under the table, and not paying his fair share of taxes at one of his 14 locations, one near you. I don't get it. I don't get it. Cursing ICE because they had to do the job to go correct this man's crimes, because that's what they are. Hiring illegals. Just saying. Also, we talked to, what's his name? I'm sorry, I didn't have his name in front of me. But he called up on the program to talk about Mimi's death. And did I miss his name? I wrote it down, and now for some odd reason, I can't find it. But if you want to check it out, go to the Odyssey app or WTIC.com so you can listen to the program. Los Fidel, there his name is. We spoke to him this afternoon, and he gave some details based upon the family members who were reaching out to him to tell him about what family members knew about Mimi and whether or not she was alive before school, if she was homeschooled, whether or not other family members knew that the mother and the boyfriend and the aunt were driving around with her dead body, moving it to different places. So he has been getting all of those details out based upon individuals coming forward. So we will have him on. I will be communicating with him back and forth to cover this story, to get to the bottom of it, to see where it leads as far as other court cases are concerned. Also, we spoke to Ben today. Ben was a great call. And, if you want to check that out, you can. I know a lot of people saying that they couldn't listen to all of it because they had to go and do other things, but they were like, did he stay on the line? I'm like, yes, he did. So go download the Odyssey app or go to WTIC.com so you can check out the conversation with Ben. All right? More news and more views, and you can shake a stick at. Plus, we'll get to all of these phone calls as well and wrap this puppy up. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hello, sir.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're 91 southbound coming into downtown Hartford right now, look for some slow traffic as you move down from exit 33 down to 32A and B, and again 27 to 28. Another bump as you move between 23 and Rocky Hill and 22 and the Route 9 interchange. 91 northbound, a little slow, 35 to 36 in Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 43 Park Road in West Hartford. 84 eastbound slowing a mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Route 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. A little tight 2 eastbound as you move up on exit 3 in East Hartford. Heading into Middletown, 9 southbound's a little slow as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. Westbound 84 in Cheshire, you're running slow from the 691 interchange sluggish right up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. Southbound Parkway delays from exit 53 down into the West Rock Tunnel. And northbound on the Parkway, you're going to see slow traffic now as you move up on exit 42B in Orange up to the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with lots of sunshine. We'll have highs ranging from 57 to 60. Then clear skies will last through tonight. We head down to a low of 40 degrees. High pressure will remain overhead into tomorrow. That sets us up with lots of sunshine and another nice day in store for us tomorrow with a high up to 64, then turning out clear and chilly for tomorrow night, low 37. The weekend's looking great at this point. Saturday, mostly sunny. We'll add up to a high of 63. Then we'll see a mix of sun and clouds on Sunday, breezy, another nice day. The high Sunday up to 69. Right now it's 56 degrees in Plainville, 54 in Manchester, and 57 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay, and benefits. And one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio.
Come on a minute.
Of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal. Percent off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We'll get back to a whole bunch of other news and stuff tomorrow, where we'll get to it. People have been asking me about the Washington woman, Washington, Connecticut, that is. Her name is Sadie. Is that her name? Sadie Fleming. Now, the interesting part about the Sadie Fleming story is she's alleged to have drowned her 1-month-old child. And that in and of itself is tragic. But the story stems from June that we are just getting wind of within the last 24 hours. So I'm getting some background on this, and someone asked me, he was like, hey, did you talk about it? That's because I'm trying to get this background. This is another, this is a wild story because, again, we're talking about a death that happened in June. We're just hearing about today. And I need to get the background on it because I'm just going to ask a whole bunch of questions. Why are we just hearing about this now? So we'll get to the bottom of that, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. So stand by for that. A whole bunch of other news as well. Tomorrow, Roseanne will be here. As I also told you, the actress Larissa Dolly will be here tomorrow as well. We'll talk about her project with, what's his name? Tyler Perry in the film that she did not too long ago called Becky. And I understand there's a sequel coming out, but you guys will understand that when we talk to her tomorrow. Let's get to the phones. Frankie, what's up? My buddy, my pal.
Well, my first question is, do they wash cars in a federal prison?
They should. This should be part of the job.
Because Victor's got a bigger problem than the illegals when the IRS gets a hold of him.
Isn't that serious? I mean,
Oh, that's a big
18
problem.
locations across the country, and we now know that there were 15 people arrested for being illegals, which, again, no one has said a word. Not one news agency has said, this guy's hiring illegals. What's going on with his finances?
Yeah, you're talking 24% a day compounded. Second thing, since I talked to you Monday, gold is up over $300 an ounce. Reese, it's sending a powerful message.
It is.
Something very bad is going to happen in this country, and I got a gut feeling I know what it is.
You-
if it happens, it's going to be a nightmare for
You think this Black Swan event that I just heard about is imminent? Because I just heard a report that there's
it'll be next year. It'll be the collapse of the U.S. dollar. And if that happens, say goodnight to the stock market. It'll drop 70, 80%. It'll be a nightmare for you because people won't have any purchasing power to buy anything. You think it's bad now? Wait till then. You won't have any. The stocks will tumble. They're too high as it is right now.
Yeah, this would be an interesting fall if it were to happen. Look, like I said, we'll pay attention to it. I've got my fingers crossed. I want you guys to be wrong when you guys start. You and Wall Street Joe, when you guys start talking about calamity, I just want these guys. I'm like, I don't want that to be right.
And the third thing, the last thing is, what did I tell you? The number one thing I don't like about this country. There's no reason for Ben to identify himself as gay. It doesn't matter. There's no reason for you to identify yourself as a black man. It doesn't matter. It has no value.
Exactly.
I've been asked 100 times, Frank, are you black or white? I don't know, and I don't care.
Hey,
The only
listen to me.
time I've had
Do not play down your Italian identity.
No, it doesn't matter, Reese, because I'm 70 years old. The only time I've had problems in my life is when I didn't have any money or gold.
You're damn right about that. I say that all the time. Money changes everything, my friend. Thank you, Frank. Let me get to these others. Let's go to, hey, Polly's all the way in Niagara Falls. Hello, my dear.
Listen, wow. I think what you're talking about is technocracy. It's the origins of racism, how we can take a community and make it, we got to do reparations and whatnot. It's LBJ. Look back. Okay, I think you need to do a deep dive on the black community in America and starting with the 40s, 50s, LBJ,
Mm-hmm.
and what they've done, the welfare state, and putting people in ghettos.
Polly, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you where to look. I don't know if you're interested in this, but I want you to look it up. Please do, because I'm doing the same thing. So as I always say, when I ask people to do it, I want them to do the same thing because I'm doing it. So there's a guy by the name of Chad O. Jackson. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Okay, so Chad O. Jackson, look him up. He has a thing called the MLK Project. And what he's doing, episode 2, I think of a 5-episode series. It may even be longer than that. But episode 2 is already out. He's talking about the origins of this Marxism that invaded the civil rights movement. And he's got the receipts. And it is I watched the first episode. I haven't watched episode 2 yet. But the first episode, he starts back at Nimrod in the Bible and talks about how there's always been this sort of movement towards Marxism, even before it was called Marxism. And he talks about it with Nimrod, and then talks about how it infiltrated the civil rights movement and how it began taking the prosperity that was preached about in the black church, telling people to start their own business, always repent to Jesus, stay on your right path. And then how that was perverted into this Marxist movement with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., where he was engaging with young African-American activists and telling them to put down the black pastor. And there became a rift between the two. That's in episode 2. You have to watch it in order to understand. But I think you're on the right path. There was a shift that happened right around LBJ and that civil rights movement that was sort of changing the trajectory of the and I'll even go further back than that. There was a rift between W.E.B. Du Bois, or many people call him Du Bois, and Booker T. Washington. People don't know that the rift between the both of them was that Booker T. Washington said that in spite of slavery, we can actually build ourselves up and start our own businesses, and he proved it because he had it all across the country. Where Du Bois was rejecting that idea and looking for the government to pay people for their prosperity. So they had a physical and they had a very real and open air rift between the both of them.
Okay, beyond what you're saying, which needs to be deep dives, we got ICE now, okay? And so you got people now, maybe yourself, I don't know, thinking it's a good thing. And I'm thinking, no, it's like what they did in Gaza with Peter Thiel and
You think ICE's removal of illegals is a bad thing? You think that there's something underneath that may be bad?
Well, wait. Peter Thiel and his apps, Where's Daddy, getting Gazans, okay?
Okay.
That's coming to America. That I think that is. And
so, you think the two are correlated with ICE?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, Polly, because it's the end of the show, I don't know what that is, but is that part of the video you sent me? What about the Mossad?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was just a history.
Oh, okay.
But I'm telling you, what I'm saying is this black. Why are we Why is this? We got to do a different social engineering on black people in America. Why? And how does that fit in to what's going on today?
That's why I want you to, Polly. That's the reason why I want you to watch this documentary, because I think it answers the question that you're asking. I think that was purposeful, but I think it's broader than just you. Well, it's part of it is just using African Americans and that whole thing, but I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. But thank you, Polly. I got to get to some other people. Let me go to Tom in Thomaston. Hello, sir.
Hey, hello.
What's up, buddy?
I got a comment on Justice Brown, but first, you gotta love Frank and his gold. But just remember, Reese, if you put $10,000 in 1990 into a IRA, it would be worth a lot more money. And if you put $10,000 into gold in 1990, the IRA would be double or triple what gold is worth.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. That I remember gold was struggling for a long time. People were like, thank God we got rid of it. It's like, thank God we got rid of the gold standard. I remember every day of that.
Well, we ran out of enough gold. We didn't have enough gold for the money we had.
Right.
So Nixon had to get rid of the gold standard. We had no choice. But okay, so on Brown, you're telling me the Democrats couldn't have found a smarter woman, black liberal woman than her? There's got to be African-American women judges all over the country that are saying, why didn't they go to me?
Do you know why? Do you know why they did? Can I tell you why they picked Ketanji Brown Jackson? Do you know where she was serving at the time?
No, I don't.
You could have thrown a stone. She was in Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
she was in D.C. There was no real effort. She was in Washington, D.C. There was no real, I mean, this idea that they were picking a black woman, it was like, we're going to get a stellar candidate. No, she was a stone's throw away. They didn't care. And they were making it look. We're talking about an administration, Tom, that didn't care about the qualities or the qualifications of the black person. And if you're wondering where the evidence was, Kamala Harris is now on her book tour telling people out loud that she was the most qualified candidate ever. Like that woman is...
I saw that clip. It made me laugh. Reese, there was probably some cocktail party.
Yeah.
And some guy said, "Oh wait, remember that little short black woman? She was at the party.
Yeah.
Let's pick her for Supreme Court justice."
You know what? I'm telling you, I think that was what was funny about that. And I think the crazy part about that is that I think when they were going through a list of people, they probably had some black women very qualified. And they were going through the names, and there were names like Robin, Karen, and then they saw Ketanji. Oh.
That's our man.
They looked at that and went, Ketanji. Yeah, that sounds African. That's exactly what they did. That's how bad it was. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you, man. It's horrible. Latexual says, you heard her say that? Yes. Kamala said that she was the most qualified candidate ever. It's everywhere. Every news media place is talking about it, saying that she said that. Let's get Bob before we get up out of here. How are you, Bob?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right, sir. What's up?
All right. So maybe I missed it. So you're telling me the people that are, I'm from Hammond, and the car wash that was raided yesterday was just causing big news in our town.
Yes, sir.
And that person that owns the car wash, that's fine for them to hire an illegal?
I missed your question. You said, am I saying it's fine for him to hire illegals?
No, in the state of Connecticut. Like, is it a state, like the state of Connecticut, it's okay to hire illegal aliens?
I'm assuming that they are saying that, because if you think about it, I mean, let's be honest. If these people don't have a background to speak of, right? If there is, whether or not they came to the, maybe they made it to the border and they had a desk appearance, so to speak, right, to find out whether or not they were going to get asylum. They never make it to the courtroom, because usually when they come in, it's in Texas or maybe it's in California, whatever the case is. But now they're in the Northeast. If they had a court appearance, they never made it, and they didn't go to the courthouse to do a video courtroom appearance. They just stayed. And that's probably what the case is, that we have a record of where these individuals have gone or where they might be. Maybe they did make some attempt to reach another family member, but whatever it is, they've been isolated and found. What I'm saying here, Bob, is we have 2 locations. Both of them are owned by the same guy, and we picked up 15 people in 2 sweeps.
Is that the one from Hamden?
Yeah, in Hamden. Yeah, the Optimo, and there's another Optimo in what's the name, in Newington. What the thing that drove me to this conclusion is I asked myself, could there be two Optimos? And maybe that's just a random name. So I looked it up to find out if he owned any more because I spoke to his general manager. And he says, I'm the general manager of all of them. So I said, oh. And then I looked it up. Turns out he owns 18. 14 of them.
There's one in Wallingford.
Yeah, that's right. There's one in Wallingford. 14 locations, one near you, I might add.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. You have a wonderful night. People should demand more from their local businesses. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night. Pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here for Ladies' Night Friday. Victor, give me a holler. Mark Christopher,
Hello.
He's getting you home in the BPS Traffic Center.
All
Good
right,
night,
Reese,
sir.
have a great night. You too. Have a great night. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33, down to 30.
All right, good sir.
28 Hartford Weathersfield line.
Are you going to get
If
any
you're
help for
northbound
that?
91 looks good. Cromwell.
No. You should be fine.
Approaching the Wealthy Bridge.
All right, man. I will see you mañana.
Open 84 eastbound.
Yes, sir.
All right,
46 is an avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound tight East Hartford. 1D up to the 84 West merge. If you are heading toward Cheshire right now, 691 westbound, you've got delay 7 to exit 8B on the ramp that takes.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Michael A. I'm sorry. That was actually, there's so much stuff I didn't get into, and I got to save it for tomorrow. You guys be good. I totally appreciate you. Please go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. I always tell people to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Check out the program. Every time you actually check out the program, the show is monetized that way. So it actually helps the website out. It pays for the website for just by you don't have to subscribe. All you have to do is just go there. You listen to one of the shows and check it out. They're all, they've got all of the explanation on what the show is. If you missed it, go back there, check it out. Listen to the show. Connecticut, you guys are kicking it. Philadelphia, I want to thank you guys too. I don't even know why you folks are listening in Philadelphia, but you are, and I appreciate you for checking out the program. Maybe it's the bosses, but nonetheless, they are. And yeah, like I said, you showing up there and listening to it for even 5 minutes or 10 minutes monetizes the show. We get paid every time you listen to the program. So we appreciate you and thank you for helping us out in doing that. We have got, it's soon, like less than, is that serious? We will be there on the 27th. No, we're taking off the 27th. So we'll be on the air in Connecticut on the 28th, but we will physically be there on Monday, the 27th. So we'll take our time to get there. So we'll be there on the 27th. Maybe we could get something popping. Maybe we'll all have dinner somewhere. All right? You're all going to have to pay for yourselves, though, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not that rich. Not paying me that much. I love you guys. Y'all be good to each other. See you mañana.